So guys, I'm just testing the audio for a second. I'll be with you in a moment.
Okay, I'm back.
So we're live there at the moment, TC. If you can just check your audio, the game sounds a bit messed up on BlueStack sometimes, so I'm gonna just mute it.
Okay.
So we're live there at the moment, TC. Just check your audio. Right, so we're looking at this Borg content. I've been streaming Final Fantasy VII for the last couple of nights, but given that this new content is here, we said we'd take a wee bit of a rattle at it. Before I get into that, I want to send condolences to Anec19. He's a former Star Trek Fleet Command player. Don't think he played it for an awful long time, but he's a very, very good friend in real life, and his mother died earlier today, so I want to send good wishes to him, and he's in our thoughts and our prayers. I don't think he's playing at the moment. He certainly won't be at this time, so if he catches this stream, we'll let him know that our thoughts are with him. I'll just skip through some of that. So at the moment we've got ships out in some of these three systems. They're the systems that you usually fight the bosses in. I can't think of the event at the moment that we used to do it in. Where is it?
Separatists.
Separatist event is right. That's exactly the one that it was. Level 26 systems, Separatist systems. I don't see a message in the view screen about that. I could be wrong. Hold on.
It's in your event. So go up onto
It's in the events, all right, but
and
I'm just looking to see if there's an announcement in the view screen, because there's a bunch of information in the view screen about this event. The Borg cube, a bit of hype around it. Some people are very unhappy with it. I was talking to Anesius last night. I think a couple of other people might have been chatting to her. She was very unhappy for a very high level player and a high spender, certainly a high spender compared to me. She was very, very unhappy with some of the changes that have been brought in, but if she wants to join us tonight, she can do, and we can talk about some of that, but in her absence we won't get too much into it. We'll certainly talk about other aspects of it. It's a bit convoluted, as these events have become known to be. You're going around the houses to achieve some of the rewards in them. Now, we've had this War Effort Alliance milestone. That's been there for a couple of hours. That was there yesterday as well, if I'm not mistaken. So you collect Borg War Effort points. Another 16 hours remaining on that. Capture a simulated crash avatar that's been there from yesterday. Only 5 people can get that. It's one of those ranking events. I'm 74th in it. I don't think I'll be ranking in that. You have to spend G4 and G3 materials to obtain that. So highly unlikely I'll be getting that. So that's a bit of an irrelevant event for me. The one that's run alongside that is capture a simulated crash. That's to actually get the officer. You can rank up to 25 in that, but again, it's spending G4 and G3 materials. It's not the easiest event to rank in. This Esprit de Corps is new now, because, like I mentioned earlier, my friend had that bereavement today, so I've been a little bit busy on the phone to him and talking to a couple of friends and catching up with a few people. So I haven't really been in game. So when I logged in there this evening, this was new to me. This is all alliance based. We did have an alliance based event yesterday, I think, where it's all about contributing and getting helps. Now the things that we're getting in there, we're getting these Borg war funds, and we're getting Borg war effort points. So new currencies. Now if we skip back to the very first event that we were looking at, we collect those war effort points, and then that'll allow us to get more of these war funds. And we go on another little bit. Know your enemy, that's been there since yesterday as well. That's running for a couple of days. That's complete the Borg missions. That's something I'm going to do now, hopefully. And then gain Borg shards. So that's a solo milestone. Generally those solo milestones are easier to achieve. Where are we? Know the enemy. Strengthen the fleet is another one. Again, spending materials G2, G3, G4 on ships. I'm not doing too badly on that. Again, a solo milestone. So one more milestone to achieve for me on that. And then live target practice, which I'm liking. I like the idea that they're bringing in something where you can go and do a little bit of PvP, just light-hearted fun, going out and killing ships. We'll take another look at that in a wee minute as well. But from that, you're able to obtain these Borg war effort points as well, and some Borg war funds. Now, what are these all for? I have some daily events there. We're not going to look at it, and we have an event store. Okay. Our reimbursed epic Borg reward tokens are useful. The most positive thing I have seen in this new round of content is these reimbursed tokens. We can spend those on obtaining these I don't know if I can check them here, these Borg war funds. I have 10,000 there at the minute. That's what I'm sitting on. I think from a maximum pull on that reward tokens, I think I can get something like 20k out of that. We're spending 50 of them, and I have 238 left, so hopefully there's 25 days in that, so there's plenty of time to be able to spend them. And lots of things we can get. Now they're expensive, some of them. Like there's 5 of 10 for example, 6,000 for one shard, 125 shards to unlock her. That's Borgified Jayla. If I spend 30k on that for 5 chests, I'll get 5 shards for her. I'd need to do that, what, 5, another 23 times, something like that. So I'd need 23 times 30k. That's something in the region. What's that? That's 23 by 25 by 3 is 75. 750k, is that right? Might need something in the region of 700,000 of these Borg war funds just to unlock 5 of 10, which is highly unlikely that I'm going to get that. So unless her shards are going to become available in other ways, in other events, maybe through this event store. If we look down towards the end,
Amorgin, she's available in the recruit chest.
Is she now in those recruit chests? Is that guaranteed? Has that been proven?
Not the ultra recruit chest, but next to it there's a 2 times Borg recruit chest.
We'll just pop into that for a second. That only appears every so often, right? So there's the Borg recruit special. That only appears every so often. Okay, so sure enough, there she is, and 6 of 10 is there as well. He's the new officer.
They're all there. All the Borg are there.
Great.
Suspend your token.
We don't have oh, we do. 10 of 10 is there as well. Great. So I'm more inclined to go for 10 of 10 TC than 5 of 10. I have 79 shards for 10 of 10 already. That's leaving me with 36 shards to remaining. I'll do one chest pull on this right now. Okay, so there's 2 6 of 10 shards jumping out straight away for me. Are you getting any feedback on what people are saying about 6 of 10?
No one has him yet that I know of. A lot of people are excited that he's in this chest, and they're excited to see what he will do because he is helpful for armadas.
Yeah, see
and
that.
not just Borg armadas, for all armadas.
He's the first officer
exciting.
we have seen that is Armada specific, from what I'm not mistaken.
Yep.
And that's clearly a sign for the Borg armadas. We're going to take a wee look at that now in a wee second too. I want to go back first though into the event store and what we can spend these.
So I've heard scuttlebutt that they will be adding to the event store as the arc progresses. And so use the tokens that you have now to unlock any officers that you need. So I was 4 shards shy of 7, so I opened him, and then I'm saving the rest of my tokens to see what else comes in the 2nd and 3rd chapter of this arc.
So just give me a recap on that. What are you spending your stuff on at the minute?
I used all of my Ultra Recruit tokens on that Borg chest, and then I spent the tokens in here to get 7 of 10. I did not have him unlocked yet. Okay. So now I have him unlocked, and I'm saving the rest because I'm thinking that they're going to add some things in here that we'll need for the 2nd or the 3rd chapter of this arc. This might be one currency that we can spend.
Yeah, so I had 10 shards to get for 7 of 10 myself, and I unlocked them. I'd done exactly the same thing. I was debating with myself at the start going, shit, am I going to regret this? Because I might be able to get him from the standard pulls and things, you know. But I suppose I was close enough to getting him, and for what I've spent on obtaining him, it's not going to break the bank. So we live with that. If there's a mistake involved, so be it.
Well, it's always good to get the officers, right? I mean, officers are here to stay. Once you unlock them, you can't be Zowed or Harrisoned out of having him ever again. Yeah. So you've got him now.
Yeah, so the most positive thing for me, opening the game, going into it, looking at it going, right, what's this new content all about? What am I seeing here? What's available to me? Even though technically it's not part of this update, these epic Borg reward tokens, cashing them in, them being reimbursed to us and cashing them in the event store for these items, for the currency that we use for these items, these Borg war funds, that's a very big positive for me. I really like that. I have to commend them on that. There's a bunch of things there. I bought a couple of I was at 72 or something, 92 Devore blueprints. I'm now at 100 Devore blueprints. So I bought some of them because they were only at 300 a pop out of these Borg war funds, and I done that so that the next 2 monthly chests the loyalty chest that I cash in, I'll have my Devore. So I'll have my Devore hopefully in about 6 weeks, right? Which is a little bit sooner than I thought I would get it, mainly because of these reimbursed tokens and this event store. And I was hoping for something like this.
That's a great spend.
Yeah, I like honestly, again asking myself, will I regret this? But at 300 a pop, I can't. Like I could go and get the Devore now at 300 a pop and go, that's it done. but I'll hold off
Yeah.
because there's like, what do we say, 25 days to convert these tokens. Presumably, if we're converting these tokens for these war funds, the entire duration, the 25 days, is Arc 4. Presumably, that's the duration of Arc 4. We're looking at another month, just shy of it, of this Borg content. Some of us aren't sure what to expect, what's going to come, but presumably this event store will be open, allowing us to spend these things for the duration of this arc.
Well, and they've told us that there will be a cleanup period afterwards also. So this event store will be open after
Yeah,
Arc 4 is
give us a couple of
complete.
days to get stuff spent. All right, yeah, you'd expect that. Now, a lot of
Yeah.
people are looking at ship blueprints, especially the epic ships, augurs and the augurs and the D4s. I don't see enterprises there.
I don't either. I'm not that high though. I'm only at 29.
I see D4 blueprints and I see augur blueprints, limit of 20 on them, but I don't see enterprises. I see the Burrell, the Gladius. I don't see the Intrepid. Maybe it's further down the list. I see the Valkys there, all right, in the Cavort. I don't see the Antares. So maybe that's more to do with my faction loyalties.
Yeah, I read on the official Discord that the ships are there based on your faction and ops level.
Okay. So no hope for me to get any. That's a bit of a disappointment. Like, you know, you should be able to get blueprints for an enterprise even if you're not friendly with.
Yeah.
You know, there are other ways you can get these blueprints by farming them and what have you. If I was out farming, say, if I wasn't friendly with the Romulans and I wanted a Gladius, I would potentially be able to go out and farm those blueprints, and I could be collecting them. A long way to get them, a big haul to get them, but maybe I've changed factions and I had some Gladius blueprints from going back in the past, and it would be nice to be able to top them up through this event store. But listen, we can't have it all our own way. Devore parts and frequency modulators, I don't think it would be a good idea for the frequency modulators to be cashing in your tokens and that kind of stuff. Same with ship parts, you can farm all of that handy enough. Arguably, depending on your need, you could cash in for the lithium, power steel tokens, all that. It's unlikely I'll be doing that. Recruit tokens, unlikely as well. Charged nanoprobes, Federation credits. That's for we're spending our charged nanoprobes on that, so that has nothing to do with these Borg. It's Borg currency. These war funds. So a bunch of things, including avatars, that we can cash in for there. What's jumping out at me, like I've said, I've done the Devore, a little bit in the Devore. I've done, was it 7 of 10?
Yeah.
So 10 of 10 is what's kind of calling to me at the moment as well.
Okay.
Was there anything else there?
How many 10 of 10 do you have? You said 90?
79.
Okay.
79. I don't know how
62.
your mathematics is, but I'm looking at 36 more shards. For 5 shards, I can spend 30k. So say 7 times 30 is 210k, 220k, something in that region. I'm getting 20k for the Borg reward.
Did you start with 209 of the epic rewards?
I started with 280.
Okay.
So I've cashed in a few already. Something like 280. It was 279 maybe, whatever it was that I had before they announced they were going to reimburse them.
Okay.
I've bought a very small chest, and then I bought a chest for 50 of them. I'll get another 450 pulls, and then a few smaller pulls out of that. That's going to give me somewhere in the region of 100,000, 80 to 100,000.
What was the conversion on those? For the 5 chest, how many?
I got something like 20k for 50 Borg reward tokens. Something in the region of 20k. I'm sitting on 10 at the minute, so I reasonably simply through the converting those reward tokens, I'll be on in or around 100,000 of these Borg war funds, which takes me up to about 40% of completing 10 of 10. Now,
and you'll be earning these throughout the arc also as your alliance completes milestones.
Okay, so this is another facet I want to get into in a couple of minutes, is this idea of how weighted some of this is toward alliance.
Mm-hmm.
I'm in Can Alliance at the moment. There was 3 members. One of the guys has jumped ship and joined a stronger alliance for this event. That leaves 2 of us, so we're going to have to go somewhere to really participate in this event. We look in here again to see why. So the war effort, alliance milestone, 320,000 points required, and between myself and Harry we have 120 points on the board.
Oh no.
So
with how Scopely does their alliance events, is it too late for you guys to get into another alliance and have your points count?
I'm not certain on that. I don't think so.
Because I thought they said that's why there was a 1-day delay for the dailies, was so that you could get into a good alliance.
It's very possible. I would think that once you join the alliance you can participate, but you're not getting any of the rewards that have already been achieved. But it's hard. It's a hard one to know.
Yeah.
I won't know until I join the alliance. Like, that's a massive. I understand that they have to avoid cheating, people exploiting the game in this way, but in a situation like I'm in there, somebody very close to me suffering a bereavement, I'm not focused with my priority on the game the last 24 hours. People have their real lives and stuff like that. They're out of their main alliance, we'll say, for a while, or friendly alliances. They're in a smaller alliance doing their own thing, and they want to go and participate in this. So I can probably go back and join Hum. I'm sure the guys would take me for the duration of the event. I can put a wee message out to some of them now. If I'm barred from participating in this event, that probably is not very fair. I certainly wouldn't be very happy with that. I'm not losing an awful lot, but it bars me from participating for the next 16 days.
Yeah.
And I'm quite an active player, and I'm sure there are others like me out there, so that's something that Scopely need to look at if that is the case, and I won't know until I join and test that.
To get some clarification.
I believe that is the case, Amorgin, that if you switch alliances in the middle of an event, the alliance, your previous alliance, loses all that you've put in for that event, and then when you join a new alliance, you do not score for your new alliance.
At all.
At all.
I personally have experienced that because I visit a lot of alliances, so I always try to change in between events.
And so tell me, is that Spork that's with us?
Sorry.
No, this is Death from Server 15.
How's it going, Death? Now, tell me something. You're saying I can't contribute to that alliance.
Correct.
Nothing.
You can contribute, but for anything, you can contribute to the alliance to help the alliance grow. But when it comes to alliance events that have already started, you will not be able to contribute to that.
Right. So it doesn't matter how many points I put on the board. If I go and join Hum, they're not going to benefit.
Correct. You can get all your solo stuff, but you'll not be able to contribute to the alliance.
Does that mean that I can't benefit from any of the alliance rewards while I'm there, though?
Correct. If you open your War Effort Alliance milestone, open that event.
Okay, so none of these rewards I can claim if I join the alliance. So for the next 16 days, for the next 2.5 weeks, there's literally no point in me playing this game.
Well,
buggered.
unless you and your one buddy can get enough to get up to the
Which
first
ain't going to
milestone.
happen. That ain't going to happen at this stage.
Mm-hmm. That stinks.
That stinks a wee bit. And to be fair, if real life stuff wasn't going on, I probably would have been aware of this.
You might could do it. Mm-hmm.
Yeah. It's something that I've always said is wrong, that Scopely handicaps players that way.
Mm. Now, tell me, just before we look at this any further, why would this be the case? What's the logic behind this? Like, how can people potentially exploit this? You jump around a few alliances there, TC. What's the potential exploits that they're trying to avoid here?
So they're trying to avoid me going into one alliance for 6 hours and dumping a ton of points into their leaderboard, and then jumping to another one and dumping them into it for different rewards. Achieving 5 milestones in one alliance.
Why is that a problem? If TC is the sort of altruistic person that wants to give of her time and go out there and help all of these other players on the server achieve milestones at her own expense, maybe to some degree, because she's not, or at the expense of others, because she's not directly benefiting anything extra from this necessarily. Why would we not want that? Is there no way we can allow it that if you've achieved one set of rewards, you've achieved all of the targets that need to be achieved, and then you go out and you jump into another alliance, is there no way of just saying, right, well, you've done this already, so you won't score anything extra, but anybody else will?
I personally don't see a problem with that. I don't know that there is a way for Scopely to keep track of which milestones I have achieved personally.
Well, if they can keep track of the fact that I leave Can now and go and join Hum, if the system, if the AI, if the way that the game is built, and the way Scopely can look at your account, all of that kind of stuff, if it's already able to determine that I don't qualify because of the actions I have taken, surely it's able to say, well, you don't qualify because you've achieved X amount of rewards already.
So how it's been explained to me, I'm friendly with a lot of alliances, and I did make the mistake a couple of times of leaving one alliance in the middle of an event. The admiral of the previous alliance that I left PM'd me and said, TC, I'm still getting your points. When you left, you had X points. Now you have X plus 50, and you're not in my alliance anymore. So my points were still counting towards my first alliance because I had scored there first. I think it's just a simple pairing. TC is paired with her alliance at the beginning of this event. That's where all her points go. So what's funny though is it was a 3-day event. I went back to the event and I went back to my first alliance and got points and got rewards from that event, even though I had left the alliance. My points were still scoring with them.
It's a strange one.
It is.
I don't know if it's helpful.
What would be even more strange is if you and your buddy leave and that alliance that you're in goes away. Where do your points go? What happens to your points?
Well, it's only 120 points, so I wouldn't be crying too much about that. But you know,
no, I know, but your opportunity to get these rewards, that's tough.
Well, I'm just messaging some of the Hum lads on Discord now. I had mentioned to one or two of them about the possibility of rejoining. I don't know if they were even going to accept me, but I put the feelers out.
It'd be interesting to see if your experience is similar to what I had. If you go into Hum, score some points, your points don't show up there. See if your buddy in your current alliance can see if your points show up there.
Like at 120 points, it's worth a gamble. But
yeah, no, I agree.
but judging by the experience, judging by like you guys are experienced in the game now, you know, you guys have played it for a while, you have tried different things. I'm inclined to think you are probably correct about this, you know.
But for giggles, I mean, like you said, 120 points.
Yeah.
And if you leave, your alliance doesn't go away. If, you know, you could always go back to where you're at now, and if life changes a little bit before the 16 days is over. I don't know.
It's a dilemma.
Yeah, it is.
Like if myself and Harry there had gone flat out and said, right, we're gonna try and score on this, and then decided I wanted to go and try and rejoin Hum or whatever, like this basically gives you no incentive to find a new alliance at all. This should be a time where everything changes and people are going, can I join you for a little while, and relationships are formed and new alliances can be formed, or people get to know each other. Like right now, everybody's killing their smaller ships. Nobody gives a shit. I never thought I'd see the day where you're looking forward to notifications coming on your phone saying you've been attacked. You know, and I'm looking forward to them notifications going, great, somebody else is taking me out. Great, somebody else is taking me out. Brilliant. And like not amazing rewards, but small rewards where it makes it worthwhile. And you see all the assholes that don't like me. There's a ship, destroy it. I'm getting a point for it. Destroy my ship.
Yeah.
Maybe I'll see one of your ships. Oh, there's one of the whales on the server. He's got one of his small ships out. I'm going to be able to go and destroy one of the whale ships. You know? In fairness to Char went on the Galaxy chat earlier on, and he was like, I'm going to constantly put out my ships. Anybody wants to kill them, work away. You know, and people are going, yeah, cheers, thanks, you know, and that man's just going to keep throwing his ships out there. It costs him nothing, costs any of us nothing, and people are going out and hitting his ships where normally they wouldn't dare, you know. That kind of stuff, great. People are taking their shit out on each other, and it doesn't really harm anybody, you know. Whilst at the same time, while we're all getting down in the dirt, kind of wrestling with each other and giving each other little digs, don't really hurt. It's like play fighting, you know. This is the time there where you would want people saying, I might come and join you for a while for this event. If you've any room, come over and I'll have a bit of fun with you guys for a while. Or this small group of people, let's all team up and form a new alliance just for this event and see how it goes. Or bring in a couple of smaller players that we never even knew were there, who are attacking our ships with their Talas because the Tala is the best ship that they've got. You know, you know, it's like, oh, hello, how are you doing? Thanks for that hit. You're after giving me a point. No problem. You know, he turns out to be sound. Come on over and join our alliance. You seem to be all right. We'll give you a bit of a leg up. You'll score good points in this event if you join us.
Yeah.
Like this is what you want right now. The way that they seem to have done this, if it turns out that I can't score or achieve any rewards, you know.
Yeah, I agree. I think there needs to be more clarity on what happens during alliance transfers, and more opportunity to move around and to explore new teams and new people.
So Psychosis is after sending me a message on Discord saying, fuck the rewards.
Thanks, Psychosis.
Just come home, just come back and fuck the rewards, you know.
Yeah.
Which is fair enough. I was kind of enjoying it with the can lads there for a wee while. It was nice and quiet, and you know, all that hatred that's out there for Hums. Like, there's always going to be the odd asshole that just has you in his sights and will never leave you alone, you know. But they're few and far between. Generally speaking, I was left alone. Time like this, it causes you to wonder if it's worth being in a small alliance. I was enjoying being out on my own and in a small alliance. Times like this, I'd like to be able to go and join, even if it is late in the day. I'd like to be able to go and join a bigger alliance for a little while, and then maybe come back and do my own thing again for a wee while if I want to. I'm not sure this is working. and I'm a little bit afraid and worried right now.
Biscuit Hanley said, "Are you coming home to Hom?"
Who said this?
On YouTube, Biscuit Hanley.
Oh, D-Biz, yeah. How's it going, D-Biz? Yeah, so I'm actually chatting to Say and Taz and a few of the lads on Discord because I'm a bit reluctant. We were discussing there with TC and Death that I'm a bit reluctant to jump out of, even though we've only scored a couple of points in this event. I'm a bit reluctant to jump out and lose them 120 points to end up going to Hum, or like I think I could have joined one of the other alliances potentially and participated with them, but Hum is the obvious choice for me. But if I go back and join Hum now, a couple of hours after this has started, and I can't get any rewards and I can't contribute to the event, what's the point? Like, I know Say is saying come home, fuck it. Like I understand that, but you know, the incentive there was this event and the rewards that can be obtained. Like, these are significant rewards. You know, this makes the difference in whether I'll get 10 of 10 or not, probably. This also, you know, these Borg Mega Cube directives, I won't be able to get any of these.
No, and just as a, I don't know, as a little bit of a sneak peek, the word on the street is that the mega cubes are going to be on a destroyed points kind of aspect,
which is something I've been calling for a long time. A long time. I was way back. It came from another game. I had the idea from another game way back. Like, I mean, I'm talking before there were half the content creators there are now. I think Ignatius put a time frame on when we, as a community panel, first talked about this idea of a Borg cube and all of that. And I think she was saying that was like 8 months ago we were first mooting this issue. So some of it was reflecting what the community was saying, particularly Borg cube. People were talking about Ferengi, which happened as well. People were talking about different factions that could potentially come in. And I'm hearing talk now from people they'd love to see the Cardassians, for example, and things like that. I was talking about this inspired by another game from way back, even before we had community panel set up and before we were doing videos and that. And the idea just that everybody on the server be able to go and participate in something, you know, like that. The original idea was everybody on the server. That, like, it doesn't matter who you are, what alliance you're in, this massive target of whatever it is appears, and you go, and whatever damage you do reflects the amount of points you earn individually.
Yep.
And it doesn't matter if you're mortal enemies. There you are, side by side with your ships, and you're just spamming your ships at this system. And maybe there's a server announcement that says things like such and such a hostile has appeared in this system. Gather your forces.
Alliance A is attacking. Go help them, or kind
of. That kind of thing. I'll settle for the idea that you're doing it as part of your alliance. I'll settle for the idea that every fucker in your alliance goes out with their best ships and just throws them, the best setups that they've got, throws them at this target, and you score that way. I don't know if it's a downside or an upside to it. Are you going to be competing for targets with another alliance, for example? Do you have to claim the target?
Well, we're getting special Armada directives, so that leads me to believe that we're going to be dropping pins like we do now with our current Armadas. But I'm hoping that we can have more than what our ACCs allow us now. For me at Ops 31, I can have 5. I can have myself plus 4 teammates. I would like to see it where we have more Alliance teammates attacking at one time.
Yeah, more than just the 4 or whatever it is, or the 5, and yeah.
Right.
But that's really just an extension of what we're seeing already, though. You know, it's nice to have maybe 20 people or 50 people or whatever it is, but but you still have to claim your target. You drop the pin, like you say, and that's yours then. Does that mean that some other fucker's going to come and take yous out and claim your target?
I don't know if they're going to have it that way, or as I said, it's based on damage points. So maybe you don't kill it, but the next alliance that comes along does.
Interesting.
Or maybe it's so big, like the initial bosses were in the Separatist events, where it took
where we have to tag
hitting
team it.
them.
Yeah, launch 2 or 3 attacks at it, maybe. Yeah, I don't know. I'm a bit.
That's what I'm starting to think.
Yeah, I'm a bit deflated now, but that's given me a mild lift at the idea that, well, if all the boys can score enough and I can participate, grand. But my question right now, that's great if I can participate, because, you know, like in Armada, I don't need to spend the credits to participate in it. Somebody else does that, but I'll still get X amount of rewards out of it by participating. If it's like that, that's a bit of a light at the end of the tunnel for me, even though I can't claim these rewards or add to the team effort. If I can participate in the Mega Borg Cube stuff, because this is really what I'm losing here. If you look at it, 128k points there to get 10 of these Borg Mega Cube directives, right? How many of these Borg Mega Cube directives are needed for an attack?
We don't know.
We don't know yet.
And you'll also need special warp cells to get to those systems. And everybody who's joining that Armada will need that special warp cell to get there.
Right, well, I don't
That's
see...
what I saw as well, TC.
It's going to take 2 warp cells to get to the Mega Borg Cube if you flip
Right,
over
and I don't see...
to the left of Fed space. Yeah.
Over to the left. Hold on, I'll take a wee look on the map now.
There's 16 new systems, plus a central system, plus the big cube.
Yeah, there it is.
Takes 1 token to get to those new 16, and then a second token from those 16 to get to the big Borg cube. And those are different tokens.
And a warp range of 33.
Are you sure about that? That we can't just pass through like we're any other system? Or do we have to stop in that central hub system and then from there to the Mega?
Look at the graphics. There's the warp lock to get to those 16. Then there's another warp lock to get from that central to the Mega Cube. And it's not just a closed lock like it used to be before we were ever let into a system. It's the warp cell lock.
Yeah.
Yeah, if you zoom in, you see the second lock. Hi, by the way.
How you doing, Flando?
Hi, Flando.
Hi, Flando.
Hey, Flando.
So we were just discussing...
2 different cells. I think Panic said something about it in his Q&A as I was trolling through it day one.
Sorry guys, if you just bear with me for a minute. I'm on Discord as well, chatting here on the phone. Let me see. I'm going to pop into the view screen again here inside the base for a second, see what they actually are telling us. I don't know what if you caught any of the conversation there earlier on, Flando. Did you catch any of what we were talking about?
No.
So, as you know, some of the guys are aware. I haven't been in Hum for the last couple of months. I was out on my own for a little while. Then I joined a group of misfits called Can. Incidentally, just to let you know, Can, there was talk, my old friend Belly from Rug, Belly had suggested, I think, that Can could stand for Kill All Hum Now. But Can were regarded as Rug Black Ops for a long time. They were the guys that if they didn't want to start a war, they'd just go and join Can, and they could go and do what they wanted against Hum, because there was no agreement in place with this Can outfit. So even though it's not the biggest crime in the world, me joining Can, it's some would say it's an interesting choice. But the lads that are there, there was only 2 of the lads left there. My old friend Triple H as well, who came over and joined Hum. Trip does a few videos as well. Trip used to be in Can with the 2 lads and came and joined Hum. And Trip would always be of the mind that Can's attitude to playing the game is actually quite similar to Hum. They kind of do what they like. They stay, because they're small, they stay out of people's ways if they can, but they're not to be messed with either. They'll still go out, they'll drain any base that they see. They'll go out, like the Twitch, Rampant, as he's known now, was the Admiral of Can, and Rampant had, recently I got attacked by a couple of ROG lads. I'd been generally left alone when I wasn't wearing Hum tags, and some of the Can lads were giving me their tuppence worth after I was hit on a mine, and Rampant was saying to me, the way he plays it at the moment is it doesn't matter who hits him. If he's underprotected, overprotected, none of that matters to him. If he gets hit, he will go out and take that out on that alliance and every ship that he sees belonging to that alliance until they stop and go, just leave him alone, avoid him. Right? He's not a pirate in the sense that he has a policy of just going out attacking everything that he wants. He generally tries to be left alone and only goes out and hits during events or when it's payback. Harry, on the other hand, Harry's quite a little bit higher. Harry maybe level 38. I've done videos on Harry. One of the ones we've done, Harry Met Sally, we drained Harry one time. Harry's a good guy, clever guy, knows the game. Harry generally leaves them alone. If they hit his miner, he just send out another miner. Repair, ignore it, on he'll go. And that the way the 2 guys operate generally means that the Can lads were more or less left alone. So I had a few offers on the table when I was out of Hum. I had a couple of different options there, and I declined nearly all of them. The only thing that was attractive to me really at the time was talking to some of the fringe players, the smaller alliances and the lower alliances, to see if there was any potential for, I don't know, a little bit of cooperation. And even though people were positive towards the idea, I just started feeling like, unless I'm the one that makes this happen, unless I put in the effort to try to bring all of these misfits together and make them work, which I don't really have the time for or the energy for it, unless I do it, it's probably not going to happen. So I left it alone and waited to see if others would come back and eye me going, here, what about that idea that you were talking about way back? And maybe then the energy would be there from others to make it happen. Right now, it doesn't seem like the appetite is there. So I reached out to the Can lads, and they were like, yeah, no problem, come on ahead. And it was really just for the idea of one event, rather than being on my own, just join them for one alliance event, see how it goes. And it's worked out fine. It's an easy fit. I believe Triple H is probably right that these lads are a little bit more like the Hum lads in terms of how they play the game. But Twitch, Rampant has gone and joined RPH. Now, he may be back. Harry could be holding the fort. Harry's obviously not too bothered about this event. Either that or he's holding fire just yet. But Rampant's away off to participate in this event with RPH. Myself and Harry are sitting here, and I was talking to TC and Death there a wee while ago just about this idea that now's the prime opportunity, now's the perfect time for me to go and maybe test the waters, join Hum, see how it's going. There's been changes over there. I wasn't a part of it when those changes happened. And there's some of my friends are there. Some of the guys that I play this game with are there. So going and rejoining them, even if it's just for this event, great, why not? Now I'm finding out I can't do that because I can't contribute. Well, I can do it, but I won't be able to contribute to this event. And I won't be able to obtain any rewards from this event because I've missed it by like 4 or 5 hours. 6 hours, maybe.
What do you mean you missed it?
I missed the window of opportunity to go and join HUM and participate in this war effort.
So how Alliance
Oh,
points
have they?
work.
Oh, have they completed the first tier already?
Is this it? Do they have to complete the
No.
first tier before?
No, it's your player ID is associated with your alliance that you're in right now at the beginning of the event, and you've already scored some points towards the alliance event.
Yeah.
When you leave this alliance, those points stay with the alliance that you're with, and your player ID is paired with this alliance through the duration of the alliance event.
Which
I mean,
basically,
it's been pretty normal. That's usually how alliance events work. From
Yeah.
from my knowledge, if you leave an alliance to go to another alliance during an alliance event, you won't be able to participate.
so what I'm
As-
saying here, Flando, is I think Death said earlier they gave us like a 24-hour period or something to get your house in order, join whatever alliance you're going to participate in this event with, and then you're locked in basically when the event starts.
Technically, they didn't give us any because the alliance contribution event ended as this one started. So technically, there was no gap.
Right.
But yes,
Right.
but yesterday's event didn't have any of the Borg war effort points. Yesterday's
And the
alliance
thing about
event
that
only
is
had the war
that's a
fund.
24-hour event. We can live with not participating in a 24-hour alliance event. That's fine.
Mm-hmm.
I can live with that. This bloody event is 17 days.
Yeah.
That essentially means for 2.5 weeks, there's literally no point in me participating in this game and participating in this content, except for the solo stuff.
Yeah, we've spoken in plenty of times before about the lack of information we get before events are dropped, and this is a prime example of why they should give us a heads up.
And even at that, Flando, if they had given us 24 hours very, very clear notice, I said at the start of streaming here that a very good friend of mine had a bereavement. I spent a bit of time on the phone with him today. I got a text from him this morning. I was at work. This game was not what was on my mind today.
Yeah.
You know, it doesn't even matter if I was aware yesterday that I needed to do this. I can't be expected to go and prioritise this game because Scopely have set a deadline. You have to be in your alliance by this time because this event is starting at this time. When shit happens, I'm sorry, this is not a priority until later on, until I deal with real life issues. And then I come back into the game only to find out that for the next 2.5 weeks, I'm barred from participating.
Sadly, that's going to be Scopely's response to you, is that you chose to deal with your real life, even though that's going to be everyone's choice, over a game. They're not going to have any sympathy that your friend had a death in the family and that you were there to
and
comfort
I'm
him.
not using that as an excuse. That's just the reality, and I don't want to be labouring the fact because he wouldn't he wouldn't thank me for talking about this as much as we have. But this, I'm sure there are people out there facing more serious shit than that. This is
I
not.
agree,
You know,
there probably are, but that's going to be their stance. That's not our problem. You chose to deal with that stuff and not participate in the game.
And I accept that. I accept
the unfortunate side effect of that.
I accept that, but what's the knock-on effect there? You've lost.
You're driving players away. Is
a
what
very
you're doing.
a very active player just won't be participating. And in those 2 weeks,
right?
in those 2 weeks, there's a lot of things could attract my attention if Star Trek Fleet Command isn't.
Yeah. True.
People are on lockdown at the moment. It's a bad time. A lot of people are turning to their PlayStations and their PCs and things like that for a bit of change of pace and whatever else. You block a player from participating in the content for 2.5 weeks, you lose them.
They're going to lose a lot of interest in the game. Totally.
Yeah.
They may as well be banned.
You may as well be banned, yeah.
as much sense as it makes, even from like the revenue side of things. Thinking from Scopely's side that are going to be losing out on sales, so they're not going to have the money to invest in all these bloody bugs they've created.
They don't invest anyway, so it's not like they do invest the money they've got.
Oh no, I know.
They invested in.
That's
their
how they'll look
wallets.
at it, though.
Come on.
Yeah, maybe. Yeah, Mr. Nice has come back again. Yeah, I'll get the claws out again.
Yeah.
Maybe Amorgin it bears starting a ticket and just seeing if there's any consideration that can be made. I mean, it can't hurt to ask.
Yeah, well, what I might do,
no.
I'm hoping that Taz will join the chat, and Spork is with us as well, I think, so you're very welcome, Spork. I'm hoping that Taz will join the chat and we can arrange that I rejoin Hom here while we're live. I suppose prove the point, and raise a ticket from there, maybe.
Have you finished your daily?
Sorry, Spork, very low there. I think it was Spork.
Yeah,
Quick question.
I don't know. I'm using my phone.
Oh, he's still quite quiet.
Yeah. Maybe turn him up. He sounds fine to me.
Yeah, I've just put him up to 200%. Say something, Spark.
Can you hear me now?
Yeah, better. Still quieter, but it's doable.
I'll put your user volume up. Just don't start shouting into your phone all of a sudden.
I won't. I just joined it a little bit late. What's causing you to not be able to participate?
So, does somebody else want to explain it? I've done it 2 or 3 times already.
What's happened with Amorgin? He was in Alliance A.
TLDR.
Left Alliance A, joined Alliance B, and now he's not eligible for any of the Alliance rewards in Alliance B because the event had already started when he joined.
So he's considering joining another alliance.
I've done that a bunch of times, but that only applies if you score points for the first alliance.
Yeah,
right, which I have done just because, like, I was going in doing my bits and pieces, not thinking about this at all. I was saying to the guys earlier, I had real life stuff that was more on my mind. It wasn't directly affecting me, no big tragedy in my immediate life, but a woman that I've known for 35 years who cooked a fucking great fried egg and chips and mug of tea, that woman passed away, and I was talking to a very good real life friend about that. While I was at work today, it was that was on my mind, not logging into the game. I missed the window of opportunity. I log into the game, do a few things, check out the new events that's on, and just by going about my normal everyday stuff, I end up scoring points in this event. I'm not thinking about the bigger picture here until I sit down and decide I'm going to stream, talk to you guys, let's see, complete a few of these missions maybe, and realising, shit, I'm not going to be able to do this for the next 2.5 weeks.
Quick question. Do we, for certain, know that although Scotland have said that you won't get points if you join Alliance B, that you won't actually get those points? And the reason I asked that question is because I've just came back after not playing for a week, and I wasn't online during the whole Crucible for War event. But I came back on. I think there was maybe 3 or 4 hours left of the event. My alliance had already completed all the tiers of that event. I went out and killed 1 swarm hostile, and I got the rewards for all 10 tiers.
Yeah, I think that's just because you need to score to benefit.
But it specifically says you won't get the rewards for each tier unless you've completed it, unless you participated previously. So, by their logic, I shouldn't have got any of those rewards.
Right. Wow. And at the start of the conversation, Flando, I suppose, when I was first talking with TC and Death there, until the guys started to explain to me their experiences, what I was thinking more is, well, maybe I can go in here and participate with Hum now for a while, and the guys are saying, well, maybe not, and I'm going, well, sure, let's do it while we're live as a test, and we'll see. Still quite hopeful, but as we started talking further, I started to kind of go, shit, maybe not.
So
we can still do it as a test here tonight as we're live, but I'm not hopeful anymore. Where at the start of the stream I was hopeful.
Well, join
I'm
Hom,
surprised they got no
get
events.
some points.
Yeah, so I need
Join
Taz
Hom.
to get his ass in here to the
We
chat.
all know a lot of stuff that Scopeplay says happens in the game doesn't actually happen in the game, even if it's a negative thing.
And the sad indictment then of the way Scopely are doing this is that we're hoping for one of their errors to make things okay. You know?
Statistically,
there's an irony in that, you know.
But on the positive side, we have a really high chance of getting that error because it's Scopely.
I would try it if I was you.
Well,
Anything possible.
Taz has said that Taz is at work at the minute. He's waiting for one of the lads to come and cover for him, and then he said he'll join. So I'll do that then. In the meantime, let's cover a little bit of this other content until we can test that. The first thing I'm going to do here is I'm going to send my Centurion over to do these missions. Now, I'm hearing we're going to need a bigger boat. It's pretty short.
They're both short. One
Very
is
short.
go from point A to point B. The other one is go from point A to point B, kill a hostile, complete.
Okay.
And gives 500 titanium, 500,000 titanium.
Oh yeah. So
No shitloads of titanium for bugger all.
Okay.
Yeah.
Now that event, what is that? That is know the enemy, is it?
Mission.
yeah, so you get 500 by doing those two missions. You complete it by 2/3.
Okay, and that's a solo milestone. So joining alliances or not joining alliances is going to make little odds there. Okay, so let's send the Centurion over here. 1 minute 49 seconds. So we're not far away. Any of you guys sending out ships to get them destroyed? Any of you doing the PvP stuff?
Yeah, I've done it earlier on, pretty quick.
I'm done.
Just
I did it
done?
earlier.
all three
Completed?
ships, and I had it done in like half an hour. I mean,
Okay.
my Findra and Tala got absolutely smacked about, but it was nice actually using the old jellyfish.
It was. I found that.
Brought back memories.
Yeah, a little bit of nostalgia, yeah.
I had a nice message from a former Hum member who's in Sword now. Leprechaun, we shout out to Lep. I sent out my jellyfish with, I wouldn't say an entirely random crew, but do you know when you want to kind of leave a ship in dry dock where you know that your shields might be down for a short period of time, but you're going to go out and you're going to do a bit of PvP, or you're going to be raiding the base, or you're going to be doing something, but you want a ship in dry dock just in case your station gets attacked. So you'll throw in a crew that'll do reasonably well in there that you can rely on to just enhance the defense for that short period of time if an attack happens. So the crew I was using, I'm not even too sure what ship I had in there. I think it was the Centurion I had in there before I swapped it to a different dry dock. The crew I was using was Carol Marcus as captain. I don't even have a fifth officer in there. Carol Marcus as captain, Crass beside her, and Bones, Rare McCoy, right? And Lep attack, and that's now the jellyfish crew because I just stuck the jellyfish in there and sent it out, right? And Lep came back after attacking me 3 times and losing, saying, that's an awesome crew that you've got on the jellyfish. Which got me thinking, is it, or is that just because he lost 3 times, you know?
Isn't it because he was attacking?
Because he was attacking, yeah.
He attacked you.
Yeah. It's not a great crew if you're attacking.
No. But in an event like this, it doesn't really matter, you know? I couldn't give a shite, really. Like.
Yeah.
I was having a lot of fun just murdering jellyfishes with my own. I put a really good crew on it, and I was killing 4, 5, 6, 8.
What I did like about the other event, what's it called? Let me just check. It was called Strengthen the Fleet. You know, the one you have to get 28k points spending like.
Yeah.
Decided to see how far I could get with my 2-star ships and upgrading them, and I managed to max from tier 1 to tier 7 6 Talas, 2 Turus, and 2 Findras, and it got me halfway. That's with just 2.
Oh. So
Okay.
You get 1 point when you use 2-star uncommon. So,
what ship would you recommend if you had to go and upgrade one ship just to finish off that event? I have 8,500 points, 8,400 points to complete that, Flando.
Yeah.
If I'm going to go with a 2-star ship, what do you reckon?
Yeah, you have to max a few of them. Like, I mean, that was 10 2-star ships I maxed.
Right.
So, I mean, it saved me a lot of uncommon because initially I'd have needed to spend 1,400 uncommon.
But then you can scrap some of them for
but it takes
G3.
days to scrap. Yeah, but it takes days to scrap, so it won't scrap in time.
Aye, grand. But over the next, for doing all of this now, over the next couple of weeks, you have something to keep scrapping to get a little bit extra G3. So in that sense, if I'm looking for uncommon crystal, what am I looking to scrap?
Findra.
So I should be building Findras now to complete this event.
Findras and envoys.
Right.
Envoys give a lot of crystal.
Yeah.
So what? And if I want to be gaining 3-star gas, what do I need to be scrapping?
Turus.
Talas. Or Findras.
Tala gives Tala's a battleship which gives you ore. Turus is an explorer which gives you the gas. If you want gas, then you need to.
Right. So that's the rule. If you want gas, scrap interceptors.
No, Turus, the explorer.
Scrap explorers if you want.
Ore, battleship, gas, explorer, crystal, interceptor, and miner.
Okay, and that would tally with the strengths of the factions.
Right.
That as well. So, your interceptor tallies with the Klingons, who are also crystal. Battleships, Romulans, explorers, Federation.
Yeah.
Right. So that's the advice for people that are wondering how to, I suppose, utilize this event down the line for a little bit of G3, scrapping ships. If they're going to be building ships to complete this, strengthen your fleet. If they're going to be building 2-star ships to be for strengthen the fleet, go with whatever it is that you need. So in my case, it's going to be crystal. So I need to be scrapping interceptors. 2-star interceptors, Findras.
And envoys.
Envoys.
If you have these envoys give 33 or 34 crystal as well.
There's a small difference between those two.
But max tier, max level.
Correct.
Don't just
Well,
build it
that's
from
with any of the
scratch.
ships that you scrap.
Yeah.
You're better off going max tier, max level to maximize your return.
Yeah. So, and just a wee shout out to Ex Cathedra. He's made a few comments there. See, TC, you've responded to him. Not happy with this being a bit of a cash grab.
Clearly, it's a little bit.
He's only new to Star Trek Fleet Command then.
Aye.
I'm kidding.
Either that or very tired of the whole fucking thing.
I completely agree with him, but I mean, are we surprised? Truly,
No.
are we?
And I said it toward the start of the stream there as well, made a wee mention of Vinicius, she's really not happy at the moment. I don't want to get into too much of that in her absence. Quite happy to do that in another video with her down the line, but she's really put out with some of the stuff that has been done.
Oh yeah.
And she's not afraid to spend.
Nope. She's every right to be pissed off. I would be extremely pissed off if I was in her position as well.
The gist, if you want to give us the gist of it without getting too much into it, Flando. From what I gather, it's partly anyway to do with
a lot of money.
certain hostiles that she was grinding on now.
grinding for the Kelvin, which is by killing the Soul Traders.
Yep.
And because of the nerf on Shen, she's not getting as many kills per trip. She wasn't getting a lot of kills per trip already in the first place. But what they've done is they've dropped the amount of energy weapon based traders down to only 20% in that system. So although you can still kill them, you're not killing as many, and you're not getting as many spawn. So it was already taking a long time as it was. So they've clearly just done this so that whales don't grind for 4-star ships and that they have to pay for it. And then there was a whole sort of debacle in the official Discord channel, which if anyone's part of that, they can go and have a look at if they want to.
Well, I can't look at it because I was kicked out of it and I'm too stubborn to go and rejoin.
I'm actually surprised they've not deleted the thread because that's what.
Why am I not surprised that another person got kicked off?
Anisis did get removed there temporarily. I didn't know she was actually back in, but I know she was removed for the previous issue, which again was done wrong, in my opinion. But yeah, so the business
3 guys from my alliance got banned.
Over a period of time, or all around the same time?
All at pretty much at the same time yesterday, off the official Discord.
Oh, over this content?
Who got a bug up
Yes.
their butt?
Batman got the bug up his butt.
Batman, listen, I don't know Batman. I know he's done a decent enough job in LKRs there. He's on the ball when it comes to being available. But Jesus, from what I'm hearing from people, he's rubbing a lot of people up the wrong way.
Yeah. I mean, two of the guys that got banned, my guys that got banned, they were there griping about what Anicius was griping about with Sol, Kronos, and Romulus, with the level 50 traders, Chen and Chen.
Are these high-level players? Just give us a wee bit of a... Right.
One is an Ops 41, and the other was an Ops 38.
Right.
So they were in there grinding away, and the one guy happens to be my admiral, grinding away.
Is this not is this not a massive fucking mistake? I mean, it's one thing to piss off gays like me who aren't paying their wages. It's another thing to piss off people that have spent a lot of money.
Yes, but then you got the players like Gregor, who's already ground out his Kelvin doing this, backing Scopely up by saying, well, you knew this was going to probably happen. They weren't going to allow it to happen anymore because, to get it that easy. It was never meant to be gotten that easy.
It wasn't easy in the first place. That's the thing.
Right, and he's saying it's only gone back to where he was when he first started grinding them and only getting 3 or 4 kills at a time. That's all that's changed. It's gone back to what it was at the beginning. These players have already got the ships that were beating them.
It doesn't
I think
help.
What it was is this last cow that made them change to really make the change.
Yeah, it's easy to say that when you've got the ship already,
Yeah.
Yeah. And Gregor, listen, I go way back with Gregor. Before Gregor was known by anybody in this community, he was a madman commenting on my videos and shit. And I looked at what he was saying, and he was, the way Gregor, he's a complete nerd. He gets into his numbers, and this man was sending me screenshots of fucking notebook pages full of numbers that he was doing testing on. And straight away I was like, this man needs to be given a platform here to fucking share what he's doing, because I don't have the brain to challenge some of what he's doing, because I'm not going to put in the time to test all of this here. But there's a massive community of people out there that would be more than happy to test out further what he's saying, argue with him if it's the case that he's wrong and agree with him if it's the case that he's right, you know. So I was one of the first people there saying to Gregor, come in, talk to us, you know, participate, get into my Discord channel. There's a role for you. And from there, other people came in and, you know, he moved on a little bit. He's still there, like, you know, but he's not as active. I give him his own channel in Discord and all, and he's not as active there anymore. Other people came along and built community platforms or community resources there, and much bigger than what I can offer, you know. Like, I have a couple of hundred people in Discord. These Discord channels had a couple of thousand, you know. So he's much better off in these places, but I've lost a little bit of touch with the likes of Gregor over that time because he's so active now in these other forums, and it's disappointing to hear that he's become a known personality, and that there are people sitting there going, it's easy for you to say that now, Gregor, that you've got your big shiny fancy ship. Like,
right.
You know, Gregor was always a community man. I wouldn't have been reaching out to him and saying, come in here and fucking talk to us and all, if he wasn't. He's always been about sharing the test and sharing the information and stuff like that there. Guys like that do not need to be seen as Scopely apologists.
Right. And
he still shares his information and his research, but he's also
one of the gang now.
Shillifying.
There's a group of people have emerged who are not official content creators, but they're widely recognized within the wider community. Like, we can't deny it. These people are out there. Not everybody out in the community is going to agree with each other. You know, what I do isn't to some people's liking. What DJ does isn't to some people's liking, or Deuce, or any of the rest of them. So people will find their little niche. People will find the place where they want to, where they want to operate, and that's great. The diversity that's out there in the community, it's growing and it's great, and people are contributing. Brilliant. If your claim, and I'll say this to any one of these content creators, I'll say this to any one of these people that say, like, I hear people out there talking about the community, and I'm sitting there and I'm going, go and cop yourself on. You're just talking about the fucking community when really it's about the project you're involved in, your own agenda. But there are guys there like Gregor who never had an agenda. It was all about developing the game. Guys like Thaler, it was never about their agenda or even wanting to share information. It was about them wanting to influence the game in a positive way, or as they seen it. There are other people out there pushing their own agendas. We know that, and that's all right. Work away. I don't like it when people are saying, oh, I'm doing this for the community, when it's clearly not for the fucking community, like, you know. But then prove it is what could come back to me. I'll challenge any of these people on it. It's like, prove it, it's not for the community. I can't prove that. No more than anybody can prove that when I talk about the community that it's genuine, you know. But we're entitled to our opinions. That's what the diversity is all about. And it's great that we can have these debates and these chats. I just don't see any sense that if you're talking from a community point of view, I don't see how it makes any fucking sense that you would be apologising for Scopely. Argue the bit out, but don't be sitting there taking the fucking flack. Like Batman doesn't need to take the flack for Scopely. He doesn't need to. He doesn't get paid for it. He doesn't need to take that flack. Much wiser move there in my book, just to be absent when this is happening, and let somebody like Panic or Gala, who are paid to deal with it, fucking deal with it.
Right, exactly. That was what my guys were saying. He should have left them alone and just let them rant. Just let the official Discord rant and rave and spam it out until their heart's content.
Yeah, like if people are getting abusive, fair enough, mute them,
right, but
remove
nobody
them.
was getting abusive. One guy that got banned was using his in-game name. Now, some may find it offensive. I don't. Others do. He goes by the name iPhone Mom Dick, and he's used it at least. I've seen him in game for at least a year now, and that's how I've known the guy. And Batman was telling him, "You need to change your name, or you're going to get banned."
Right. Is George?
Really, is that
Ge-
what this is all about?
Is George or
Names?
is Spock's left ear with us?
I mean, technically, Dick is just another name for Richard, so you know.
Yeah, I'm wondering is Spock with us because we've had this conversation around. Like, I think there was somebody on his server called themselves COVID-19.
Yep.
And to me, like,
That's more offensive.
to me, I could take offense with that because in what I work in what I've seen in my real life and all, people have been adversely affected. Currently, right now, it's an emotive subject for some people because people have suffered bereavements and different things that's related to this thing, right? People's lives, their livelihoods, and their businesses and everything have gone balls up because of this situation, right? So that can be construed as quite an offensive thing. But having said that, I've quite a thick skin. So if there's somebody on my server called COVID-19, I don't really give a fuck, right? If COVID-19 is on my server out there killing people's ships, well then, and what I suggested to Spock at the time was I'd be more inclined to create a temporary alliance called Antivirus and say, well, our sole purpose is to eradicate COVID-19. Yeah, you know what I mean, and try to unite.
Yeah, that would make it fun of it,
right?
And make fun with it.
And it's that little bit of role play and not taking it too seriously.
The negative into the positive stuff.
Right. You're here with me, Spock.
Sorry.
I suppose this relates to a debate that we have had out there in the community about, like, right, okay, we wanted to do, and we'll still do this probably, do a video on moderators and Scopely moderators, and you've been talking to me a fair bit about some of this stuff, and there's a couple of guys out there who have done moderation in different forums that I'd love to get in and we can chat about this and do the truth about moderators. We've done the truth about Scopely in a couple of videos. We can do the truth about moderators. Another one that's in the pipeline maybe for down the line is the truth about LCARs. There's been a lot of drama about LCARs recently, and some people just really don't know what the fuck they're talking about, and some people in my book, people that I've got to know throughout the community, they've made bad decisions relating to all of this simply because they've got an agenda that they're pushing, or they think they know what they're getting involved in when really they don't. Like, I know for a fact that there are people out there who are quite hostile now towards LCARs, and they're part of LCARs 2.0, who have nothing to do with the origins of it, quite hostile to LCARs 1.0, and I'm sitting there and I'm going, why are you being like this? What is it to you? Why do you care about issues that are going on behind the scenes with these two community resources? Surely people can just go out, if you don't like one resource, that's all right, but you don't have to be hostile towards it. There's some curious things going on out there with moderators, with community resources, with people who are active and well known within the community, and it's questionable to me why people are making the decisions that they're making in some cases, whether that's simply banning somebody because they've got an inappropriate name, or because they're raising an issue, or if it's because they're I don't know, taking sides within this divisions that are out there within the community, or differences of opinion that are out there within the community. And it's a strange time for me because I've been around this game a long time, and I'm looking at some of these people that to me are noobs. They're quite experienced players now, but all you fucking guys are noobs, in my book, like, right? Doesn't matter how high a level you are. Doesn't matter if you're a fucking whale. You're still a noob, like, right? Because you weren't there. You haven't seen the 10 different ways to play this game that only a handful that still play it have seen.
I'm so offended. I'm going to report you.
You probably should.
I'm offended. I think we need to ban Amorgin.
But when we talk about moderators, for example, right?
I take offense to being called a noob.
Right?
I know, right?
But if you take somebody like Phil Luke Picard, the moderator, right? I've had my fallings out with Phil. Phil kicked me out of Hum, and I've been fucking part of Hum from day dot. Like, you know what I mean? Like, me and Phil have had words, right? However, I can still go and talk to Phil and it's fine. We let that shit go, you know what I mean? Like, we've got something going on in our real lives and we're just not in the humour for dealing with bullshit right now, so we'll be a bit abrupt with each other and say, right, you know what, you can take that and you can go stick that up your arse. I don't want to fucking hear that, right? But a day or two later or a week later,
time passes on, and it's like, here, congratulations, you got that, you done that, well done, or take the piss a wee bit, and that's fine, and I'm okay with that, you know. I'm talking to Phil there this evening, and Phil's talking about going back to home. There's no hard feelings there, right? Like, I don't bear a grudge when it comes to this. But when you look at him, he's a moderator. And I've asked myself, and I'll say this to Phil, why does he need to involve himself in certain fucking chats in official Discord? I think you were banned by Phil, or warned by Phil or something, Flando, one time, for saying shit or something like that. And I would say to Phil, like, why do you even stick your head up above the parapet there? Phil, above all, doesn't need to be taking the flak of the community for Scopely. Because Phil is one of these guys that he probably has the biggest pedigree in terms of playing this game, or certainly one of the biggest pedigrees in playing this game right back to its very, very early origins, before me, right? Phil was helping lead alliances before fucking this game had even gotten on its feet, you know. Man I have great respect for that man, even though I might fall out with him, and I'll call him an asshole or whatever, you know, and he'll say the same to me. I have great respect for that fella because he fucking knows this game inside out. He's played this game from day dot. There is nobody, moderator or otherwise, employee of Scopely or otherwise, there is nobody that I know who has involved themselves in such a way out there in the community that knows this game the way that man does. There are other people who have played this game as long as him, but they're not out there offering their services to moderate for Scopely and get involved, you know, in these community projects. As a single representative of this game, Phil is ideal in terms of what he knows, his knowledge, and the respect that he should command from the wider community. There are people that don't like Phil and will completely say, oh, you're fucking kissing Phil's ass, or I'm not kissing Phil's ass, right? I'm just saying it the way I see it. Guys like that don't need to be pissing off members of the community for a word like shit being said in an official forum. Guys like Batman, who doesn't have the pedigree that Phil's got, doesn't need to be generating ire from the community because somebody's got an inappropriate name. And that's why I wanted to bring Spock into it. And Flando, if you've got anything just on that, you can jump in, surely. But we've had this conversation, myself and Spock, about where do you draw the line when somebody has a name like, say, COVID-19? Do you report that? If that's offensive to you, do you report that? And should Scopely be banning that guy? Is it offensive enough to receive a ban? And a username, like you said there earlier on, like fucking mama, dick, whatever, like, is it that serious?
I don't think so. I mean, I only take offense if it's directly directed at me in some fashion.
Right.
That would be the only time I take offense to it. Or you're using some really foul language in your name, in your game name.
Like I heard
somebody
somebody getting very pissed off one time on official, and I fully accept that this person's upset, that they're entitled to that they have a point, that they're entitled to feel the way that they are feeling. But what they were doing was calling for somebody to get banned, and should this be allowed? And I think that it was the name of their alliance or something was called like Communists in Space, right? And this person's problem was that they had called themselves communists.
For the love of God.
Right? And how for some people, the very terminology communism is offensive. And that's fully understandable. If you've come from a communist dictatorship.
In the United States.
Right, but there are Americans, plenty of Americans.
Grew up in the United States in the 40s and 50s with Joe McCarthy and his headhunting.
Exactly.
His witch hunt for communists.
Exactly, right? But even though there's a lot of Americans that would be fully entitled to feel upset at the terminology of communism, right. Imagine coming from a communist regime, or your family coming from a communist regime, who have suffered in that. You can understand, perfectly entitled to be upset and offended by that. But do we actually do we get into the practice of banning people for that? because it upsets a small minority. Like, this is the world we're in now, you know. We have to accept that this is political correctness gone mad.
To make really light of this, I attacked a guy, I guess it was 4 or 5 nights ago, and he messaged me and he's like, "What was that for?" And I said, "Well, your admiral called somebody I'll use the phonetic term, a see you next Tuesday,"
right,
because with TC in here.
Right.
And we start talking, and I said, "Well, that's very offensive to American women." And he's like, "Well, not to defend my admiral, but the guy's from Ireland, and they use that word on a regular, but not in a derogatory." And I said, "I understand that. I have friends from England. I have friends from Ireland. I have friends from Scotland. I know that. I know they do use that word on a daily basis." And he goes, and in that case, then he goes, "You can call me a dirty communist." And I laugh, because he used Russian in his name. And I said, "Well, in that case, you just call me the filthy American." And we had a good laugh about it.
Grand.
We've had a conversation in our alliance about that word, and it is mainly just Scottish and English, Scottish and Irish that will, be fine with that word, essentially.
I think I have just to illustrate, and I'm going to say the word in a wee moment. Right, hold on a second.
TC, cover your ears.
Shut up.
Where's the ban button?
When I approached some of the hom lads earlier on while I was streaming, and in the space of an hour, once, twice, 3 times, 4 times.
Oh no.
Right, so I'm just going to breeze through some of this here. If any of you cunts are online in game, will you look for me without tags and send me an invite? Right, will do. Blah blah blah. Who's this Amorgin cunt? Was he in ROG? That's a Scottish guy saying that.
Not me.
So somebody else uses the word in a following message. Good point. What you up to? And then the Scottish guy comes back and says, well, and he uses the word again. This is what it is, whatever, and then fuck the rewards. And that's in space, and there's nothing to that,
you guys over there, right? I think what it is you guys use the word, and I'm going to say it, TC, the word cunt, like here in America we use the word bitch.
Right, and bitch is probably as offensive to us as the word cunt would be.
But I think that's how you guys use, how it's used in England.
Yeah. Oh,
context.
absolutely. You cunt, I'm off there stubbing my toe, you fucking cunt.
Right, and here we'd be like, "Oh, you're a stupid bitch," whatever.
Yeah, we'd meet friends on the street and go, "Oh well, you're some cunt."
Right.
No, it's just
exactly.
Just turning this down a minute, hold on.
But and this is the thing, do we have to tone this down? Because there's a percentage of the population that will be offended.
No.
I think
let me put it in. I am highly offended by that word, but that's on me. That's my personal experience, and I get to deal with it. If anybody were to call me that in game or in Discord, I would not report them to get them banned.
Right.
I would put on my big girl panties and walk away and deal with it myself.
Right. And to be fair, I probably would not use that word to a female. Not because it takes on a different connotation if I use it with a female. The same way as bitch does.
Exactly.
It takes on a different connotation if I'm using it with a male. It's not the use of the word; it's what I mean by it. Now, if I'm having the crack with TC or anybody else, I'll use the word, but I won't call you the word.
You won't direct it.
I won't direct it at you.
And
Yes,
name
exactly.
it to me.
Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah.
And in that case, like Death said, that doesn't offend me as much as calling me that name. Do I like the word? No, but that's me. I don't expect you to change your behaviors
Yeah.
because of my preference.
Yeah, and like another good example of this kind of language. Well, we'll move off terminology and language now in a wee second. Is I was talking to somebody recently enough about this, and it's the idea if I meet another Irish person, and he'll mention Paddy, he'll talk about Paddy, and Irish people being Paddies, right? If an Englishman, like if Spock's left ear turns around and goes, "You're a Paddy," right? I'll take that as a bit of banter, no problem.
Someone did in Galaxy chat, didn't they, the other week?
Right, but
He called you a Mick.
right now, a Mick is less offensive than a Paddy to me, right?
Oh, is it? Okay.
Right, but at the same time, coming from an Englishman, that has a very different slant on it than it does coming from another Irishman. Right, it's like when black people call each other the N-word, they're allowed to do that, but coming from a white man, it's very different.
Like me calling myself a silly puff. Anyone else said it, then...
Right. Or if you go out to some club and you go, I don't know, all the queers are here together, for example, right? All you guys together can be okay with that. But if somebody outside who's a bit homophobic says that, that's a very different thing.
It's
just kind of
because over there, a fag is something a little different than over here in the
A
United
fag
States.
is a cigarette, yeah.
Exactly.
Yeah.
When Mum's feeling unwell, she says she feels a little queer. That's
exactly. And the same with...
Right, that means she's not feeling well.
Yeah,
the same with gay. Gay used to mean happy. and carefree.
You need to stop saying that on your stream, by the way. Just
What's that?
You have to stop saying that on your stream.
Why?
Oh, you're streaming.
The subtitles.
You're YouTubing, dear.
Okay.
No, I'm talking about when you say guys.
Yeah. I've been pulled up on that a few times, yeah.
What?
When I say gays,
guys?
I'll say gays quite often, but it comes up on the subtitles as gays. And a number of times people have, obviously watching with the subtitles, have commented and said, why do you keep calling everybody gays?
You got one now.
Bugger off and listen.
I'm Irish and I don't even know what you say half the
Good
time.
man, Taz. I'm glad you're here. Good man. Now,
Irish anyway.
Taz is from Taz is down from God's country, where my mother comes from. He's down round the south of the country. So we've got slightly different accents. I don't know if they'll make much sense to any of you American guys if we even sound different, but
You do.
You do.
No, there's a difference. There's definitely a difference in me and Amorgin.
Yes, I can tell the difference.
Yeah.
That's twice as hard to understand, you guys.
I'm from the country.
I mean, even I'm having trouble understanding Taz, and that's saying something.
And that's really sad, because I can understand him.
grand.
Thanks very much.
I get you, Taz.
So, a wee shout out before we continue. A wee shout out to Doms. He's nice to hear my voice again. I haven't gone anywhere, Doms. You obviously haven't been watching my Final Fantasy videos. If you want to hear my voice, not that I'm talking on that too much because there's an awful lot of cutscenes and shit in it. But we're here.
Final Fantasy nonsense. Come on, Morgan. We're here. For
come here. Anybody of my generation that got the PlayStation 1, that game was iconic.
Nice.
Oh, was it?
It was like, and and to be honest with you, half the reason why I'm doing it is my daughter's messing around with it, trying to play it a wee bit, and she's not mad into it, but she's interested a little bit in it. She's started wearing her hair a little bit like Tifa out of it and stuff,
Nice.
And it's partly a tutorial for her. That if she ever does want to sit down and kind of go, right, because she doesn't live with me all of the time, so if she wants to go on YouTube and go, how do I get past this next bit, I've got it there for her, and then the other side of it is,
oh, I think I'm gonna cry.
yeah, the other side of it is,
such a sweet dad.
yeah,
Shucks.
people are on lockdown at the minute. People are at home. People are looking for media and content to watch while they're isolated and stuff. I'm partially isolated myself because I'm a type 1 diabetic, so I'm working from home a lot more, and I've got a little bit of time when I wind down in the evenings to just sit and play, and I may as well stream it if it's got a dual purpose that somebody might want to come. And I've had a few guys come in and hang out and just be like, yeah, I'm not up to much, I remember this game, and it's nice just to be able to do it in a relaxed way, not like with this Star Trek Fleet Command stuff where there's content overload. It's fucking... you have to kind of get your head around it, figure it out, and then explain to people a little bit what's going on. Arranging with you guys, is anybody free to do this or record and edit and do? It's just easy to just switch the thing on and just go, and it is what it is, you know. So that's what that's about, TC. I'm going to move on from that.
I'm just messing with you, honey.
Okay. Don't be a cunt now, right?
Hey.
It took him what? Not even 5 minutes. Not even 5 minutes.
Wow.
Now, Taz, I want to get down to the real meat of this now. We were talking earlier on, Taz, about the way this Alliance event is. This,
Oh God. Yeah.
right? This, give it a second to load up. War Effort Alliance milestone. How's Hom doing in that at the minute? What milestone have you reached at the minute?
Well, I finished all my dailies. That
Right.
didn't take too long, and then check because I haven't been on the last hour. But I think we're fourth at the moment in that. Trying to help with the alliance thing. 2 seconds.
My alliance finished second in the alliance help event.
Okay, what's the event that Taz is talking about there?
I think he's talking
The
about the one
one
that ended this morning.
that obviously that started a while ago was the Spirit of the Core, and
Yeah.
then it was the live target
Oh.
practice that was done in seconds. That was
Yeah,
done in
yeah.
a few minutes. But the event that I'm on about it was the Alliance celebration.
Oh, yes.
Ended up finishing
Yep.
fourth in that.
Right.
With I think was it Borg? I think Borg won. Then Rog, then Sword.
I can look
Well,
at
they
it
bought it.
here now. Yeah, I can look at it here now. Right, Borg topped it, Rug second, Sword third, and Hom fourth with RPH in fifth. And
That's it.
What kind of points are we talking about?
top points 41,700.
41,000 would have been fourth place on my
Right,
on server 15.
right. So
Nice.
some pretty active players there.
Yeah, the number one alliance. Well, the alliance that came in first was a real shock to us all. Was one that normally is, fifth to between finishes you normally 5th to 10th range for alliance events, and they crushed everybody with just over 63,000 points.
Right.
Wow,
Now, it-
our top
Yeah,
one
well,
had
it-
88,000.
regarding all that, and being honest with me and some of the lads in Ham, we have other obviously other accounts and different servers and all that, but we don't really take into account what happens in other servers because we're the original one. It's nearly
you
dead.
guys are
It's
real.
not. It's nothing like the other servers. So what we get in our server, it might be low TE, but it's big in ours. It's
Mhm.
It's just Amorgin will tell you the way the original server's going. It's you can't recruit, you can't swap players over. I mean, Sword are after going away from Ham, and they've taken. I think they took 15 from Ham and reformed Sword, and then I think with Econ's alts they got up to 18 and 19, and I think they're at 22 now at the moment. But I think the majority of them are old Sword players that were in other alliances than Ham. But other than that, it's very, very hard to get players. It's just dead. It's everybody settling for the last 2 or 3 years. It's very, very seldom you see fellas switching over and back. Very seldom. This last month. But it's a total different kettle of fish compared to the other servers. Like I'm in one of the servers, and I don't know how I got into it, but it's majorly lads from Holland and the Ukraine. It's really weird. And there's one English alliance, so I'm in that one at the moment. And it's a dog-eat-dog. It's massive. It's ongoing. It's hectic. It's non-stop. You haven't a clue who you're talking to in and out. There's so many people in the server compared to our one. We know everybody in the servers. We know everybody in the alliances. We know all their backgrounds. We know each player at this stage. It's not. It's getting. They'd want to do something with it, which is
it's at a point where the part of the fun for some people is you see a low level account and it's all about figuring out whose alt is this,
exactly. Exactly. And I think the biggest, and Amorgin, you will probably agree, the biggest thing that's happened in the last 12 months is Triple H coming over to Ham.
Yeah.
That was the biggest. Other than that, nothing has majorly happened.
All right, so Amorgin getting kicked out of Hum is not anything big then, no?
No, not at all, Tom. They're just
right.
You're not as big.
Right.
No, you know what I mean.
Yeah, I was going to try and top that by joining Rug, but Farty got in there before me, and it seems that upset some of the Rug lads, and I think I'd messaged you about that, and you didn't know what to make of it. Yeah. But listen, I joined Can there, right? And I find I'm in a situation there, Taz, right? And I was saying to the guys there earlier, I was vaguely aware of how these alliance events go, and that there's that you can't participate if you've participated in events and switch over and whatever else. And it's not something, because I was in Hum for so long and I didn't really jump around alliances. It's not something that was really relevant to me, right? And then when I went out on my own and I was doing my own thing, it wasn't relevant there either because I wasn't going anywhere, right? And I was having a little bit of fun with seeing where I could rank on alliance boards just by myself, right? A little bit of fun there when you're dealing with some of them lower alliances like Ewok or Purr or some of them guys. That I'm trying to kind of match them in activity levels just by myself.
Well, that alliance power is going to be gone now in the next 24 hours.
You reckon?
I know so.
Okay. What's going to happen there?
It's going to cross the sword.
Right.
Yeah, it's going to go across the sword.
Right. Yeah, well, there's a few alts in there anyway, isn't there?
There is, yeah. I think...
You're cutting out on me there, Taz.
What?
You were cutting out on me there?
Oh, yeah, sorry. No.
Yeah.
Yeah.
You're on Wi-Fi, are you?
Yeah, I'm on the Wi-Fi, yeah.
Sometimes switching off the Wi-Fi and letting your cellular data do it resolves that.
Yeah, done. Can you hear me?
Yeah.
Yeah. No, Octo had an alt, a small alt in Power, and he got kicked earlier on this morning, and something got through the sword.
Right. Well, sure, we'll wait and we'll see what happens with that.
Yeah. The Fartasia is the only one over time that Octo had farts had left and all.
Man, you might need to disconnect and reconnect there.
He got kicked today. No. But yeah, the next 24 hours that will change.
Do me a favour there, Taz. Disconnect and reconnect for me, will you?
Yeah, we'll do. Yeah, go on. Yeah, go on. We'll do.
We'll give Taz a wee second. So, I'm out of touch with a lot of stuff that's going on our server when it comes to that. I don't know. Like Taz is saying, we don't know what it's like on other servers apart from when we have other accounts there. Like I have a couple of accounts on other servers there, small level accounts. I have one on Flando server on 131 and stuff like that, and you do get a sense of how all these players are operating. But on our server, it's just it's really bad the way things are at the moment. Like I'm looking at the highest level of activity here on the stream that we've had in a system for a while, and like it's only a handful of players now. What doesn't help either is that the Irish are all going to bed at the minute, and the Australians are all in the middle of the day for them. So we do have round the clock activity. There's no such thing as a quiet time on the server. we're all in very different time zones, so that's I suppose that halves the population in terms of peak activity times. We have we probably have two sets of peak activity times for the Irish and then the Aussies. Are you back with us, Taz?
Yep, can you hear me?
Yeah.
That's better.
So what I was saying,
I've gone out the back. I'm outside.
What I was saying to the guys earlier was, I was in Cannes, as you know.
Yeah.
Twitcher Rampant sent me a message earlier. I didn't see it because I wasn't in game. Saying that he was going to join RPH for this event, right?
Yeah.
Got logged into the game and Harry was still there. Messaged Harry, but he's obviously at work or whatever. Like he's in Australia, so hard enough to get him.
He is, yeah. The only time I've ever spoken to Harry is kind of like around 7 or 8. That's the only time he's ever spoken to me, or
right.
any time I've talked to him is early our time.
So I'm left sitting by myself. I'm looking at these events. I'm messing around with a few bits and pieces, and I end up scoring a few points in the event. We have, between myself and Harry, we have like 120 points in this event. I don't think that's 120 points between myself and Harry, and that's just by pure accident, right?
Yeah.
I'm sitting there thinking, looking at these rewards, these epic Borg token things. Let me just jump into it on the screen. When it comes to the time that we're going to be attacking these Borg cubes, you're going to need these Borg mega cube directives, right? Yeah. What I'm not sure of at the moment is, do I need one of them just to participate in attacking a cube with an alliance, or can I join an alliance armada? So say you have these things, you launch the armada same as the old armadas, and I can just go and join and benefit from that, or do I need one of these directives?
All I know is Phil messaged me the other day. I was after launching 2 normal armadas, and Phil said, have you much in backup regarding doing armadas? I said, yes, I got an absolute ball load of credits for armadas. And he said, hold on to me. He said, you're going to need them for the Borg event. And I said, what Borg event? And he just did a wink afterwards and just said, look, he said, it's in the pipeline. So as far as I know, whatever right. You even have,
you're going to get fucking Phil into trouble there, so you are.
No, what I'm saying is that no matter what you have in Borg, because even Iron Monkey even said it the other day, actually, on GC. He said it that more likely that the Borg alliance or the armadas will be the exact same as your normal credits.
Okay, but you're going to need these Borg megacube directives for something, right?
Yeah, you're going to be needing that. Yeah, definitely.
Right. So what I'm looking at right now is, having done a day's work, knowing that this content's coming down the line, considering getting home, getting settled down, starting a stream maybe, or starting to record, whatever, right? Contacting Harry because Twitch had already gone over to RPH. Having talked to Psychosis and 1 or 2 other lads that were saying, are you going to come back to home at any stage, and that kind of stuff. Got talking to Phil, and Phil saying, yeah, pop on over, surely, tell Twitcher and Harry they can come over too if they want, and the door's open and that kind of thing. And then getting on, starting the stream, thinking I can do this while I'm live, and then TC and Death, they're coming back to me and saying, well, actually, bear in mind that you won't be able to score on the board, you won't be able to contribute, and you won't be able to claim any of the rewards. Which then had me thinking, fuck, right, 2.5 weeks here of this event, I won't be able to participate in anything, and maybe if I need these mega Borg cube directives, I won't have any of them, so I mightn't even be able to participate in the stuff after either.
Yeah.
And I'm relying on the fact that if I go and join Hum now, which is what I want to test with you right now, I want to go and join and see if it's possible to get anything out of it. It's highly unlikely. It's something Scopely need to really look at, because a very good friend of mine's mother died the day I was at work. Yeah. I got the text message this morning. It took a little bit of while. I got back to him. I was chatting with him. This game for a couple of hours today could go to fuck. I wasn't paying any attention to it because real life stuff took over. I'm sure there are other people out there with more serious stuff going on, but I get logging into the game now because of real life stuff. I can't participate in content for the next 2.5 weeks. I can't go and rejoin Hum and put up some points on the board and help or claim any benefits out of it. No, Sai said earlier, fuck the credit, and and that's a completely different issue.
Yeah,
that's you know what I mean?
That's Sai. Yeah, that's just Sai. All I can say to you there is, the last event that we were just talking about there, where Ham finished 4th. Well, just when that alliance, that event had started, the one where Sword had gone ahead and tried to push to win it. I went off and I asked a few lads from AOP, my old alliance that I had started way back at the start. And I said, do they any of them want to come in and then go back to AOP? So 3 lads came over from AOP and they did a couple of days. And then when the event was over, 2 of them left and 1 stayed for another 24 hours. But all those 3 players, when the event finished, when I scroll down to the very end, because where you can go in and you can check what members have taken part in the
right,
the
yeah.
Yeah, well, all those 3 lads were on it. One of the lads was down at like 54th, one of the other lads was up around 17th, and the other fellow was 36th. So they were registered in that alliance, in that event, for that particular event, and they got points from it, because I actually messaged them afterwards.
But did they join before the event started?
They joined about 7 or 8 hours into the event.
Had they scored in AOP on the board?
I don't know. I can find out for you if you want, but I don't know. I'm presuming because the 3 lads that we took in were lads that are good miners. They do well in some of the events. I've seen them before doing well in some of the events, so they were doing their own thing, and then came over to us. And we held on to one fella for another 24 hours after the event had finished, and then he went back over because I didn't want to piss the lads off over there either, thinking I was poaching a load of lads from AOP. But I do know they all scored. They all scored points in it. All 3 of them scored points in the end afterwards. But like I said, I can try and message 1 or 2 of the lads and ask them, did they get it from because of it was AOP or from ours? But they did score on it anyway, and they did get something from it. Because one of the lads actually messaged me back and did say thanks for that. Made an awful difference, and that's all he said.
Right. Well, I've done a fair bit of giving out so far in this stream about what Scopely need to get their act together if it's a case that I can't participate in this, because I'm quite an active player. I would contribute to an alliance if I was in it in this event, and
100%, yeah.
And 2 weeks is a long time to put a game down and say there's no point in me taking part.
Yeah.
Other things, like I'm already playing other games and doing other things. If I distance myself from this game anymore, I'm getting closer to the day when I stop playing it.
But maybe you got the likes of like Econ and Fartage or over in Sword, and they're actively getting players in, whether they're Alts or whether they're other ex-Sword players. They already know, that they do know a little bit of the background of the game. I presume they've got their own contacts in the game or whatever else. They wouldn't be recruiting, or they wouldn't even be looking to get all the power in if they knew that they couldn't get lads on the board. I don't think they go to that. I presume that they would stay where they are.
Fair point. Well, we're going to test this now anyway. I just want to try and get a response from Harry. I've messaged Harry there. I want to try and get a response from him before I jump anywhere, because I don't want to abandon him leave him by himself if there's a real chance that going to a bigger alliance will actually yield anything.
Will you send me a PM in game, and I just send you an invite to at least you have it?
Maybe see Harry.
Right, I'm not going into the PM's Taz, because I'm There's a few PMs with people there that I'm not keen on showing on the stream. I'll just be honest.
Oh,
about
yeah,
it,
yeah.
right.
Spoilers.
And it's not that it's what's even visible by going into them PMs.
No, I know.
Right.
Like I said, I'm on my mobile phone. I'm not on my computer.
But I
forgetting
can,
what's going in the background.
I can.
Whereabouts are you?
Hold on, there's Harry getting back to me. I'm just going to tell him I'm going to jump to hum.
Taz, his jelly's in Paraleon right now. The
Okay,
26 bus.
Okay.
It's like about the 6 o'clock.
Right, so I've just
Oh yeah, I see. You're beside Milo.
Can you invite me from my ship? Yeah.
Yeah,
I don't
clicking
need
on
to
you.
put anything in Galaxy Chat then. No.
Well, no. See, you still have your tags, so I can't.
Right, so
Because you've got tags on.
I've just messaged Harry. Let me drop the lines here.
Okay. Go on.
Okay, this is an interesting test now. Okay, whenever you're ready, Taz.
Okay, sent.
Alrighty, we get that now in a wee second. There we are.
That song, "The Boys Is Back in Town," is going off in the back of my head.
Yeah. I'm probably going to get kicked out in the next 5 minutes again. Like.
Trust me, if you get kicked out, they're all getting kicked out.
Right, are you going to make me a
Only
Commodore?
one person does the kicking. Yeah. I have no problem making you Commodore. Not a bother at all. Tom.
Dude,
I'll do it the minute you're in.
Make me Commodore. Who can I kick out? Well, I kick Triple H out.
That wouldn't go down well.
That wouldn't go down well.
No.
Okay.
Okay, I just clicked on you, and you're still showing can for whatever. Oh, there we go. Oh, look at his purple little head.
And fucking Prophet and a few of the guys were actually hitting my ships there for me, so not going to be able to do that now. I'm sure Rog will start hitting me. There's Chirulo, he might even start hitting me. Right. And I have a 2-day shield up as well, so I don't particularly want to finish this event by dropping that shield, but I will if I have to, you know.
Yeah, I totally forgot about it a while ago, and I went off trigger happy at the start of it, and went hitting this ship and that ship, and I was going, oh, this is brilliant, not realising my shields were down, and I went away for a sandwich and came back, and Iron decided to tap my door for me.
Do you see Harry about there anywhere? I wonder if I can find Harry. Send Harry an invite.
Wouldn't it be
If he
nice
wants.
if we were PvPing for this event and our shields didn't drop? Because we're in the system
I know,
they sent us to PvP. Wouldn't that be nice?
Yeah, it'd be a nice option.
I know Harry was actually alongside me a while ago in Upla.
I'll find him on the
'cause
list here. Hold
I
on.
borrowed a bit of res off a fella in there.
I've probably passed him here already. Where is he? He's not. Harry's not top 10, is he? No.
Just checking now.
I've probably passed him 2 or 3 times here. I can't see him. Oh, there he
Jesus,
is.
a clear
I
sky
have him.
here in Limerick. Did you get him?
Yeah, yeah.
Oh, okay.
Right, so Harry's deciding where he wants to go. He, like safest move he's saying is probably to Rug. He'd get an invite there. He'd get an invite to RPH. He'd get an invite to Hum. So it's nice. I suppose it's nice that there are players out there that transcend the bullshit and could join any of the big alliances. It's a testament to Harry that that he has those options. Not everybody would have those options, you know. Yeah,
True.
so we'll see we'll see
he's nice bloke.
we'll see what he wants to do. We can send him an invite. I'm more concerned right now, Taz, with seeing if I can score in these events. There's Esprit de Corps. I'm after scoring in there. It's after showing up
Yeah, that's the one
on
there.
the screen. Yeah, hold on a
Yeah,
second.
you should be.
Okay, that's
Because what we
that's
know-
a solo event though, right? That's not Alliance.
That's a solo event. Now the lads with AOP, when they come into ours, the lads were hitting away and all that, and you couldn't see them on the list. But the following morning, they were on it. If you know what I mean.
Yeah, yeah.
It's like they were.
Well,
hitting
hold on
away
a
and they
second.
weren't-
Esprit de Corps is an Alliance event.
It is, yeah. It's an alliance event.
And
yeah,
it's
yeah.
reading here that I have 9 points with 6 to the next reward.
Well,
Now,
okay, so I'll go into it now myself, and I'll go into it.
Right.
Right, a minute.
This is solo, so if you go help, Amber, go hit the purple help and see if your points go up.
fair point.
Yeah, that's a good point, actually.
Yeah. Well, I can just contribute to the Alliance here or something, and that'll do it as well. Fucking
I'm
hell.
sure you have a
300k titanium or 1.6 million power steel. Fuck's sake.
I know it's madness.
Fuck's sake. Hold on.
That's
Taz,
how Sword were able to move up.
do
They
you
were
need
50,
any
they were level 50.
do you need any
What?
helps?
Look, you just scored
Um,
on the individual PvP one. Did that get you to a milestone?
So the individual PvP is strengthen. No, it's target practice,
Target practice.
right? So I'm scoring away on that.
But if you got a milestone on that, then your Borg War effort points would count towards the Alliance. Oh, but there's no way to tell. There's no Alliance leader.
Yeah,
Yeah,
sadly, there's no way to
there's
tell
no
if your
hand.
points counted.
That's frustrating. But
What I'm going to do is I'm going to crash my ship and
Let me give
See
you a
what
repair.
comes
Yeah,
up.
yeah.
but not even give you a repair. See what comes up on the top of my screen from me regarding the alliance. 2 seconds.
Right. So this is saying to me now in the war effort alliance milestone that I have 140 points.
and how many does it say for you, Taz? In the War Effort Alliance.
Sorry, lads, I come out of it. What am I going into? Sorry,
The very
war effort?
the very first one, the
War
war
effort.
effort, the big one. Yeah,
How many points
I'm
do you
on
have?
4,665.
I'm on 140.
So that's where you still were from your old alliance.
Yeah, because you said you had 140.
But I was on
in the old alliance,
120 in the old alliance. Unless
Yeah,
unless that just went up before I left,
Or one of the two of you scored.
possibly.
So if Harry leaves that alliance, then your old alliance closes and those points go into the ether.
True. And the
That's true, actually,
the
that is
linking
true.
of your
There's no chance to
account,
get up to 24K.
no chance.
That's
And
true.
the linking of your account, like you mentioned earlier, TC, to that alliance should also be broken because that's gone into the ether.
Possible. I think that's a valid thing to test to see if once Khan alliance tag disappears,
Yeah.
if your points change to Hom.
So when I go into Alliance chat, it's showing the chat between myself and Harry before I left Cannes. And D-Biz with his two... Okay, is it typical? I'm surrounded by fucking ROG and everything, and nobody's killing my ships. I might have to drop this 2-day shield just for the purposes of this test.
Just post your chords in Galaxy chat and say, "Ooh, somebody come hit me."
There's Char. I'll go and hit Char. Although that jelly's nearly dead. I wonder if anybody fancy taking it out. There you go. An AOP's taking me out. Great.
Is his name with the? It sounds like barbecue or something when you're reading it.
UPDNBQU. Yeah.
That's him. That's the lad that was in with us. Yeah. So he's online. So.
Okay.
Yeah. He was. If you want to send him a message, you can ask him yourself at Morgan. That's the main fella that was in with us last week with the Alliance.
Right.
In that Alliance event and everything.
Right. So I should have scored another point there because he's just beaten me. And it's saying in live practice, it's given me, it's given me the point, but that's solo, isn't it?
Yep.
The other one is Esprit de Corps, isn't it?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
And that's the contributions and alliance help.
Well.
Sorry, right? That's a different thing altogether, right?
Yeah, the only way that you'll know if your points go into HOM is when you hit your last milestone on live target practice. So 10 more points. And just before you get your 10th point, you need to capture what you...
What are these
effort.
referral rewards? 9th referral reward, 6th referral reward.
Where?
2 seconds.
Did you get them, Taz?
2 seconds there, Morgan. Just waiting to see if someone hit my ship.
What is
Because I want to read what it says up on top.
It could be...
You,
I've only 20
those
minutes
are
left on my thing.
Morgan, those are from your referrals that you had people join the game based on your referrals that you sent out.
Right, okay.
So you had 9
2 seconds.
people. Wow. Nice.
Right.
Are you going to give me a help to do, Taz, yeah?
That's what I'm doing now. My ship is blown up. Oh yeah, now I'm about to help you. So I've hit the help button.
Right.
And you should be able to help me now. And then it should come up. Okay, hasn't come up anything.
No, I don't see it yet. I'm getting plenty of helps, alright, but... There's a lovely Findra coming out of dry dock. What do you make of the free emergency blueprints?
That says that everybody scrapped all of their Findras and were complaining that they didn't have any to build.
Is that why they done it, yeah?
Yeah, I think so.
Right, okay.
Yeah.
Because it came out suspiciously after the event started, and I think it was a, oh crap moment.
And I suppose they couldn't do it with realtors, so... Because people have scrapped realtors as well, so...
Yep.
Not sure what the care was
should
about.
do something good about that, because now today, if you haven't scrapped your realtor and you go to try to scrap it, you can't scrap it.
Oh, is that a fact?
Yeah. So it's not on the scrappable ships list. So I think they should give them back to everyone that scrapped them accidentally.
Fair point, because you're not getting an awful lot out of it. Okay, there's a help for Taz now. Esprit de Corps points +1. Fingers crossed here, guys.
Okay, go into it.
But the only time that will affect the war effort is when you've reached a milestone.
Yeah, I think you have to reach a milestone first.
Yeah,
Morgan.
but the point I'm making is that this is scoring.
No, because Morgan, I'm after helping about 4 or 5 lads there, and the points is still on the same 4,665. It hasn't moved up for me either.
Right, but on the Esprit de Corps, I've now got 10 points and 5 left to go for the first tier of rewards.
Yeah. Well, I've finished that. Mine is gone, so I don't.
Yeah,
mine is
what I'm saying is mine is progressing here.
Yes,
but
I get that.
But that's an individual event that you're progressing.
This is
so your alliance doesn't matter on this one.
But it's based on alliance contribution and alliance help.
It's based on what you're giving,
when you
not
put up,
the
when
alliances.
when you build something or repair your ship, you're asking for helps. When those helps, that's when you see them come up and you click on the helps. That's when you're scoring points.
Yeah, or you contribute.
Right.
Yeah.
But that only counts towards you. Even though it's helping the alliance as well, but the points only score for you.
It's not definitive yet until you hit that 15 points.
And
then go back
that's what I'm wondering about TC. That's and death.
Yeah.
It's what I'm wondering is this an early indicator that we can look at and say, right, this is
get this to 15.
I get to 15, and if I can claim those rewards, does that mean I should be able to claim the rewards then from?
What we need to do is when you get to 14 on this one, look how many points are showing on the war effort. So you're at 140.
I hear you, yeah.
Now get to 15, and if that flips to match Taz's points, then that should be an indicator that you will be able to.
Okay, so I need another 5.
Or if my
helps.
number goes up by the amount that you've hit it at.
Yeah, I need another 5 helps then.
Yep.
All right,
there's 2. D-Biz and Prophet, thank you if D-Biz is still watching, good man, and give us another 1 or 2 there, D-Biz, if you are watching and you're able to manage it.
So Taz, just before he gets that last one, can you flip over to your war effort and tell us what your points are?
Yeah,
just let me know when you want to. Yeah,
before I hit the button, we'll give fair warning to Taz.
Yep. By the way, how rude of me. Hello, everybody.
Hi, Taz.
And while we're waiting on a few extra helps, I'll finish off this wee set of missions. And it's surrounded by Ewok and fucking Borg and... There we go.
I definitely think the game is rigged anyway. The lads were laughing last week. I got to 99 credits myself for Pike. And that was nearly 5 weeks ago. And I made a comment then last Wednesday that the amount of chests that I opened up and I was getting everybody else other than Pike. And I only needed 1 to unlock him. And I hadn't really said it to anybody. And then I went on a big rant on AC in Ham going, God's sake, this has gone on now 6 weeks, blah, blah. All I'm looking for is 1. As true as God, 20 minutes later, I opened up a box and there was 1. I was like, I said, my God, Scopely actually did something for me.
You reckon that was Phil getting on to somebody in Scopely saying, sort this Taz man out or he's going to fucking go into meltdown?
I refuse to make any further comments until my lawyer is present.
Would you see if Phil will do some good work for TC? Because she still doesn't have Pike.
Sorry, who's this? Who are you?
The truckin' chick, TC. I don't have Pike.
I'll tell you one thing though, that even though the lads were saying that Pike makes a big difference and all that, I didn't realise how much of a big difference he does. Even at the bottom level, my God, he makes some difference, especially against the Borg and Swarms. My God, I couldn't get over it. I was adding on. I mean, like it's I as you know, Morgan, I've crap ships, but my Vidar was like tier 2, and I'd get maybe 10k, and then I'd bring it back, and then when I got Pike, I was put Pike as captain, and I had Telan and Moreo on it, and I was coming back with 19 and a half.
Yeah, doubling up. Yeah.
And that was just with the first level of Pike, just leveling them up now and see what happens. But I can only imagine what he does at further up the tier.
Yeah, I'm getting between 40 and 50k probes with Pike, Moreau, Talon in level 20.
Nice.
Okay, so if you can whisper in Phil's ear for me, I only need 7 shards. 7.
Trust me, if Phil had anything to do with it, I would have got it 6 weeks ago when I first started crying about it.
Phil, are you listening? Phil, TC 7 shards. I'll be nice to you.
He's fast asleep.
Okay, I'm on 14 helps.
Okay.
I'm on 14 helps. Taz, take a note of what the alliance is on there for a minute.
I haven't hit the button yet, but I have you down for a help. Am I hitting it now?
Yeah, if you take a note, I'm ready to go. If you take a note of what the alliance is at, I'll hit this when you say go.
Okay.
What is your alliance's war effort?
Am I going into the monthly alliance war effort?
Yes. How many points do you have?
Right, it's saying 4,665.
Okay, somebody write that down.
And it's saying 19,335 points to the next reward.
Okay, can somebody note that?
Go
Yeah,
ahead, Morgan. I got it. Yep.
So I'm going to back out, and I'm about to hit you up. Okay.
I'm after hitting. D-Bays had one up there for me already, so I'm getting winner.
Okay.
I've got 10 Borg war effort points and 400 Borg war fun points. So, Taz, will you check those totals again?
Yep. No, still at 4,665 and still at 19,335.
Fuck.
No, what I might do is I might just log out and log back in, because sometimes it does that. I'm playing this on my mobile phone. 2 seconds.
What are your points showing on yours, Amorgin?
140.
So they didn't go up?
They didn't go up. That should have been at 150.
Yep. So then the question is, did they show up on Taz?
I'm just logging back in there.
That's not looking good though.
Man.
Why don't you reset, Amorgin? I don't know that it'll do any good.
No, it'll not. It'll not. Like I could do that. But while I'm streaming, I don't want to. Because I really don't think that it's going to make a big difference. If Taz's here reads different, then I will.
Okay.
2 seconds. Okay. Out. Events.
And bearing in mind, somebody else could have fucking scored here as well.
Mm-hmm.
Right, I'm at 4,990.
Ooh, that's a huge jump.
Yeah, with 19,010 points.
Somebody else has just scored, probably.
It had to have been, because 1, war effort point is 1 point. Buggers.
Disappointing. I think it might be worth sending a ticket into Scopely if it's a case that this doesn't resolve itself. DBiz is saying to restart.
Yeah, I've seen it there. Yeah.
Do you think that that'll make any difference?
It might do, Morgan, because I mean, at the end of the day, I've been stuck on that 4665 for the whole entire conversation with you, and I'm on. How long am I on the phone? So that points could have been going up the whole time, but I didn't realize in the background.
Right. Well, I'm gonna switch to my
Yeah.
my BlueStack screen here. People just bear with me while I reload.
Yeah.
Right, I'm going to go and grab a quick cuppa while that's loading up, guys. I'll be back in a second.
Yeah, no worries. Yeah.
Okay.
So while he's out, Joe on the YouTube is saying that 7 of 10 is a beast, and he hears that he's better than Pike when the Vidar is leveled up. He gets 50,000 probes with 7 of 10, a trip with the tier 6 ship. That's right in line with what I'm getting. I just got 7 of 10 today, and I'm getting
I think it's
48,000.
Yeah, I think the lads were saying last night with tier 6, and that is it the number 789?
Yep.
The 7 is 7 is your captain, and then 8 and 9 on either side.
Yeah, I'm hearing that at a tier 6 or higher, Vidar does better than Pike.
Yeah, I was reading there on
someone
one of
say
the other
tier
Discord
7.
pages that was saying that Pike is good up to about tier 5 in the Vidar.
I can't say from experience because Phil hasn't gotten me my 7 shards yet.
Oh, jeez. Mine's like... I can't answer anything, Morgan. I'll have to log out and come back in again. 2 seconds.
Again.
Okay, I have no sound.
Sound fine.
It sound good to me.
A Morgan sound off there, or someone else?
Hey?
Okay, I gotcha.
Sorry, I'm miles away.
No, you're fine. I just want to make sure if I'm online. I can't hear anything at all.
That's okay. I hope you guys can hear me cussing and going. BlueStacks just crashed again.
Like I said, I'm Irish. We don't take offence to anything like that at all.
Don't worry, to be honest. Okay.
So is there anybody online here that's actually in our server?
No,
Right.
I'm on a US server, server 15.
15, okay.
I'm 26. Or server 26.
157 here. Amorgin's got a split account with us as well.
Yeah, he was asking me, I have another fella in a different place. He was asking me to go across. But he's only level 13 or 14. I haven't really touched him.
Can I get this thing to work again?
Okay, we're back. Fingers crossed.
Heidi ho. Yep, okay. Right, since you've been gone, I'm going to go in and have a quick look and see if the points have gone. Yeah. They're gone up to 50, 40.
Now it's telling me I have no points.
Sorry.
Yep, so that means Khan's points are gone.
Let's see if
Right.
Can are still there or not.
I'll just actually, I'll have a look here because I know where Harry's base is. I was just there a second ago.
Why am I not surprised?
Oh, sorry.
Hey, what's my job, Amorgin?
Oh, I know. Every alliance needs a Taz. You know if this server ever got merged and a load of other bases full of resources came into the game, like not only would your life be consumed with fucking marking targets, but we would be lost to some degree if we didn't have you doing that. I say we, like I know I'm only back in the door, like, but you know.
Yeah, Harry's gone into ROG.
Right, so that's why the points have reset. I wonder now, will that reset everything?
That's what I'm thinking. So I'm thinking now, if you go off and try and score points, then we're going to see a lot difference.
Right, hold on. I'm going to message Harry on...
But I think part of that, Morgan, as I said to you before a long time ago, when I had Dark Aston wanted me in Borg, and I had Laser Red wanted me in ROG and all that, because they were always asking me, how the hell can I find people? It's down to, I think it's because we're so long playing with players, you kind of tend to know where they go, where they stay, systems where they kind of tend to be around and
Bumping grounds.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah. So I tend to, especially with ROG, all the main fellas, I kind of know where they stay, and if they get hit, I know where they go to hide, to lick their wounds for a while and then come back. But while they're licking their wounds, Taz finds them and hits them again.
All for the love of cake. Oh my god.
Yeah, DB said, you're finished next solo. Yeah, I think that's the best thing to do.
Mm-hmm.
What's he saying?
Finish the next solo.
The next solo now is what?
The same.
Oh, they do the same thing again, basically.
PvP.
Right.
Yeah, the same thing again.
Just milestone.
Right.
Yeah.
What was that? That was Esprit de Corps. I'm on 20.
Yeah.
I'm on 20 points. I have 10 points to the next reward there. Then, so I need another 10. So I'm not going to make 10 contributions. That's like fucking 3 million.
Well, no, you need 10 points. So that's what, 3 ships and just get blown up then.
No, I need 10 helps.
Oh,
I need to give 10 helps.
Yeah, sorry, I got you. Yeah.
But you only need 9 points on the live target practice.
And will the live target practice, will that matter?
Yeah, go back to your
It's all,
live target practice. Because if it gives you the red Borg tokens, then that counts.
Yeah.
Because there's 2 solo events every day where you'll be able to score the Borg War tokens.
Okay, let me just do my refines here. Show off on my fancy refining.
Ooh, show us your amazing RNG.
Not the most amazing pull in the world, but
I'd take those.
Probably
That could tear up my stomach.
I can't see it all, Tal. You probably have more than me. What's your res count?
of G3?
Yeah.
Raw or refined?
Raw.
I'm at about 1.2 million crystal. I'm at about 350k gas. I'm about 800k ore.
Yeah.
Ish.
You know, well, because I'm fed, obviously I'm gas. So yeah, I've 6.7 in gas, and I've 3.2 in, I think, crystal, and then I've nothing in ore. I think I've about 1 point something in ore. But just trying to get the cell up and running, taking ages.
Well, at least I'm not on my own here. Harry's in the same fucking boat, like.
I think maybe there is a refreshing point in it, refreshing in the aligned event itself. As in, maybe it does like a 7 or 8 hours later, or 12 hours.
Okay, it's not on the fly.
Harry's saying he's still got his 140 points.
Yeah.
He probably hasn't restarted yet.
Exactly. I guarantee if you ask him to restart his game, it's not going to show it. But if he still has his 140 points, and obviously he hasn't hit the first tier yet either, so he mightn't show up yet. But just send him a message just to restart it. What's the weather like up there, Morgan?
Bit of rain earlier, quite nice over the last couple of days, but a little bit of rain there today. And
yeah, we were the same. In the rain around 4 or 5 o'clock, and then it's just cleared off now. It's a clear sky tonight, thank God. It's lovely.
I left my fat boy out the back. You know, and now my fat boy Spock is not what do you think?
Yeah, I was just about to ask, what's a fat boy? Because here, that's an ice cream sandwich.
Fat boy, it's like
No,
a.
I'm not even going to go there.
It's like a branded. It's like a branded beanbag. It's quite heavy duty.
Okay.
Right, it's quite heavy duty, very canvassy, heavy kind of material on it. But it's a big beanbag. You can use it. It's multifunctional, you know. But I had it thrown out the back for the good weather to chill out in it, you know, and. Fucking left it out the back and got soaked. I'm hoping it doesn't destroy it, you know.
A Fat Boy is also a model of Harley Davidson motorcycles.
Yeah,
that's what I thought.
That Fat Boy's out the back too. Yeah.
I'm a trucker, not a biker.
And Fat Boy is the name of a model of a Suzuki Vitara, the convertible model, with the big wide arches.
Ah,
really?
Yeah.
Yes. Do you remember them years ago, Morgan? You'd see the small Suzuki Vitara with the convertible back one. But then you'd see a big wide boy. There was like big arches on the side of it and all that.
Yeah. Now you see, a wide boy, I think in England is a different thing altogether.
Yeah, it would be. Yeah, it would be. Yeah. We're not going back into that conversation again. No,
No.
that's done.
Moving on swiftly. Fucking game.
Okay, I need people to give me helps or to put up put up helps on the board. There's 2 waiting on me from D-Biz and Iron Alpha.
Thank you, D-Biz.
And I've 8 points to get on that Esprit de Corps, 8 on that. And the other one you're saying, guys, that'll matter is the live target practice.
The PvP. Yep.
Yeah.
Okay.
You'll rack it up quicker on the live target.
I have 9 points to get on that, so I have 3 wins.
Yeah, 3 wins. Yeah.
So will I go around with this fucking kick-ass jellyfish that I'm in? Like it's Carol Marcus is on the bridge, so
that's what I did, Amorgin. I threw the jellyfish up, and then I took out a load of them, and then I just left it then for someone then to take it.
Okay. So I'm dropping this 2-day shield.
Ouch.
Yeah. There's Dr. Beck. I'll take out Beck. Dr. Beck's a nice girl.
Yep. Until you cross her.
Yeah, is she one of them, yeah?
Yeah. I think they were only in, I think she was only in sword about a wet hour, and I found a minor way up, and I think it was only something like 2,000 OP, and I took it out, and I got a lovely message.
All right.
Yeah.
Yeah. Well, at least she's not a softie. I was a wee bit afraid. I was surprised when she came and joined Hom that time because I thought she was too nice to.
I did as well, actually, to be honest. Yeah, I did as well.
But she's got a bit of backbone. Like she's got, you know.
She did, yeah. And in fairness, no, it was a bit of backbone, but it was she was funny as well. You know.
Yeah.
It wasn't it wasn't a bad message sent to me or nothing, but
I like Beck.
She was well able to stand her ground.
Right, I have 3 points to score in live target practice. What do we need to take a note of? And then I've got it completed. So the Borg war effort points. There's 60 of them to get.
Right, the best thing for me to do now is log in and log out to make sure that my points haven't just stayed the same as it did.
Well, I haven't done that hit yet.
Oh. Okay, well let me know about a minute before, 2 minutes before, and I'll log in and log out. I didn't give you a number.
Right. Take the number now, will you? Whatever it's at now.
Yeah, it's at 5040. The number I gave you just there. Okay. And it's 18,960 to next reward.
So
Did you log out?
I'm hitting char.
Okay.
Okay, so there's she showing up as a winner now. 60.
No, I'm logging out.
No,
60 points.
2 seconds now, just loading.
And it's still showing 0 for the collect Borg war effort for me. Do I need to log out as well?
2 seconds, wait till I just confirm what's on my screen.
Don't collect that winner yet.
Oh, I'm after collecting it.
Oh, darn it. Okay.
2 seconds. Out. Event. Yeah, it went up. 50-90, it went up to.
Okay, and it
went up 50 points.
It went up 50 points. So that's not me. Points. That's somebody else. That's not me.
Yep.
Okay.
Buggers.
This isn't looking like it's possible then, folks.
It should do because there's no more can, and there's nowhere for those points to go to. Do you know what I mean? So it should be logged into your account.
Yep.
And technically our account.
Yep.
I would, yeah.
Definitely send a ticket, especially now more than anything because of the alliance that you came from is gone. You have a bigger
Yeah.
argument there.
Let me see what it's saying on the previous Alliance event. Where...
But again, Amorgin, it could be down to a case that it could be the 12-hour cool off, or it could be 24-hour before you. So, I mean, there's still another 16 days to go on the event, so it might pop up after.
There's an
24 hours.
interesting thing for you now as well, right? On the Alliance celebration, the event that's finished, scored in 9th place.
Yeah.
Right. I've gone into the results of that and I'm looking at it, and it's showing me with Hum's final score that I ranked 4th, and it now has Nice Alliance in 9th place and AOP in 10th place. And
so it is good.
So it's removed Can altogether, and AOP are now showing as having scored in 10th place. And if you can check your old AOP contacts and make sure that they finished 11th, and if they can go and screenshot that, they can go to the support and say, "Here, we're 10th place Alliance. Like we didn't get our points."
What the maths are.
Well, their points would have been collected already, wouldn't it?
Not for 10th place.
I thought it was 4 to 10 got the.
Yeah, but if we were in 9th, that means Nice would have been in 10th, and AOP would have been 11th.
Yeah, I get you. So they moved up and they got it. Yeah. Well, no, to be honest with you, I'd say it's probably called tough titty. At the end of the day, this is done after the alliance finished, so I don't think we're going to get the points. If it happened in the event, or while the event was happening, and towards the very end of it, then
it would certainly give them a head scratching moment to look at it and go, "This alliance is registering in 10th, but they didn't get the rewards. Why is that happening?" Until they realised that an alliance has disappeared off the board completely. Like, you'd imagine that what you'd get there is a placeholder saying whatever, you know.
I get you. Yeah,
You know the way you see.
They're not moment to see it. Yeah.
You know the way you see from a player like deleted account or something like that.
Yeah. I'm Morgan. At the end of the day, this is scope leak. They're not going to go back and go, "Oh yeah, no problem. Yeah, we'll give you the points."
No, which
was you guys are the OG server. I hear you guys get some good stuff. Wink.
Yeah, but they don't do us any favors. They don't do us any favors.
In this conversation. Oh my god.
Just joking. Oh no, your Centurion one.
Trust me, I'm more going to tell you. From the main lads, it would have been me, and I've got nothing.
Yeah, I agree.
I feel like the most crappiest ships in the game.
So D-Biz is saying that maybe when just a mile, that'll be the final test.
What'll be the final test?
When Hom reaches the first milestone, the war effort.
Yeah. Because that's the point that I was trying to say a while ago regarding the lads that came in from AOP. Yeah. They didn't show for hours and hours and hours, and then when we hit the first milestone, which we never thought we'd get to, but we did get to it eventually, the lads were on the system.
Yeah. How far away are you from that, Taz? Or D-Biz, if you're watching there, you can give us the tally of points at the moment. 5,000, is that what you said? 6,000?
No. They have 5,000, right?
We're 5,000. We're at 19,910 points the next reward.
So it'll be a couple days.
Yeah, 24k is the next one. It's at 24, 40, 56, and 72. 80, 104. Jesus Christ, there's loads. So everything scrolled up. Look at all that.
Shit.
All the way up.
I genuinely thought it was going to go for 72k until I'm after looking up there. Oh my god.
And notice you don't get the epic Armada till pretty high up.
That's right, yeah. Yeah,
you know,
that's right.
128,000 points, then your alliance will get the Mega Cube directives. So they're definitely not intending you to get those before the 3rd chapter of this.
Yeah, and Harry's telling me here he reset and he's back to 0 and just hit a milestone in the help event and the points didn't register, same as what we've done. And he's like, in caps, it's like, fuck!
That does stink.
Mm-hmm.
I would definitely submit a ticket. Put in all the extenuating circumstances and that Khan's gone, and just see what are options are available to you.
I'd say definitely. Or like I said, I'd probably wait 24 hours just to see what happens. Until we get to the first milestone at least anyway. Although it's still worth sending in a report now anyway.
Yeah. And Harry's saying, surely they must fix that. It is a valid point. 2.5 weeks not to be able to participate in that Alliance event just because you missed it by a few hours. That's not. It doesn't make sense. Yeah.
And as far as I can remember, the first fella we took in from AOP was about 10 hours after the Alliance had started, and then we got 2 lads about another 10 hours after that. They'd just gotten in before 24 hours. And then when the whole alliance, when the whole event was over, the lads scored it. So. You know who came top in our one, don't you? The Alliance celebration.
Obviously, it's you.
No, DB.
No? Oh, did he anyway? Congratulations, DB.
Yeah, DB came top. Him top. Amy Pond 3rd. Novus 4th. Natural Order 5th. Phil was 7th. I was 9th. Officer Rodriguez was 10th. So I'll actually tell you now.
Harry's saying to pester Phil, and it might be more effective to annoy Phil's head about it.
Now, I'm looking here now, Morgan, and it's showing something up weird. I'm actually gone into the Alliance celebration, and I've gone into my Alliance members, and I was just telling you who won it. And now, when I scroll down, only 45 have taken part, and the 3 AOP lads are not on the list.
Yeah.
It's weird. And they were on it. They were in it, and they got points. They got stuff out of it. So, like I said, maybe 24 hours later, the lads were included. 24 hours after the event, the lads were taken off it because they're back in AOP.
Yeah. And the weird thing about it is, if they go in and check AOP standings, they're probably ranked within AOP standings. The same way that
I get that. Yeah.
You know, same way that when I look at where I finished in that event, it's showing me it's finished within HUM.
Yes, I know what you mean. Yeah. Okay.
Wow.
I suppose it's one thing to say, shit, we're lucky enough that we've got former Scopely employees, or I don't know, they could be current Scopely employees, but the Pranic's predecessor plays on our server. He's in Borg. We know his account. I don't know if that guy works for Scopely anymore, but there's people like that. People like Phil who are moderators and whatever they're on the server. That's all well and good if we can use that influence, I suppose,
exactly.
to affect some sort of change in the game. The sad reality of it is, though, how many dozens, hundreds, maybe thousands of other people missed this event today, wanted to join a stronger alliance to participate, but they were delayed by a couple of hours because of real life.
Yep.
True, exactly. It's a valid point.
Not everybody has the opportunity to go to a Phil or whoever and say, listen, can you inquire about this?
Yeah, but Morgan, you have to take into account as well, like that in your brain you're thinking about Irish time. So if you think about when it started, there's other people around the world that would have different times. That this event could have started at 3 o'clock in the morning in some country, could have started at 5 o'clock in the morning in some country.
Fair point.
And when they wake up at 8 or 9 o'clock in the morning, they go, right, oh geez, yeah, I better jump back into whatever alliance, because they were probably out pissed off hitting somebody, or they were out in another alliance.
Yeah,
Do you know,
or like
there's all that as well.
somebody like TC there. She was saying that she moves around alliances every so often just to like, be friendly and social with people.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah.
You know, if she's got friends in different alliances and teams up with them every so often, and but then decides to go home to an alliance or goes to the best alliance that's going to score for her or whatever, she makes that decision. If she's been delayed, tough shit.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, it's wrong. I know what you mean. Yeah.
Yep. And more than just being wrong, they need to be clear to the population what happens when these moves do occur, so that we all know ahead of time. You know, it's tough sometimes with when one alliance event stops and then the next second the next one starts. There's no time to move. And then I've heard from some moderators that, oh, it's okay if you haven't scored any points in an alliance event and then you change alliances, you go to the new alliance. But then I've heard other moderators say true. So there's just too much disinformation out there to know.
No consistency at all.
Yeah,
there is a point that somebody said a long time ago. You might have an alliance that are 40, 50,000 way ahead. You might have one of the big lads that might himself alone have gotten 10,000 of it, saying to himself, all right, well, I'll take this 10,000 out because we're not going to lose, and put it into another alliance into another alliance that will gain the 10,000. So Scopely are probably saying, you're not going to do that. So maybe they're looking at it from that point of view, as in you can't take your points over into another alliance to gain from it.
Shit kind of hit the fan last summer with there was a raid event, and players were leaving, basically being kicked and raided in order for the alliance to win. And I think that's why Scope have obviously wised up to that after the community kicked off about it.
That was before the 8-hour cooldown, right?
Yeah,
so they would kick raid, bring them back, kick someone else, raid, bring them back, you know.
And
so I understand
doing it as well.
Yeah, but the 8-hour cooldown is the disincentive for that.
Yes.
You know,
it is.
Not the scoring and the points.
That was to stop the jumping out for helps and getting back in again, and you know the way you could speed up a 30-day build into a couple of days by just jumping out and sending an invite, jumping back in, leaving, sending an invite, jumping back in, getting your 16 or 17 helps. That's why they did that 8-hour cooldown. That was just try and stop us doing that again.
Yeah, try to stop the exploit. Okay, I'm not sure if there's much else I can do here tonight, guys, apart from send in a ticket. What's the overall feeling on this new content? We've covered certain elements of people being unhappy about how they've changed farming high level hostiles to grind for Kelvins and things like that. What's the feeling from our kind of level down towards the 30s, high 20s, low 30s? What we're seeing so far?
I'll deal with it when I get there.
Where are you at?
Go on.
I'm not going to worry about it.
What level are you at?
I can't hit them right now. I'm Ops 31. I'm a long way from having to worry about it.
What are you, Taz?
33, about to go to 34.
And TC, you're 29? Yes. Is there anybody? We have Spock. Spock, what are you at?
29 on one and 27 on the other.
Right. Do we have anybody else in the chat here that we're missing?
Nope. Nope.
The only thing that I thought good was in the last couple of days, and regardless of it benefiting us or not benefiting us, it was when the minute that came for the hitting the Romulans and the Klingons and the Feds, and all of a sudden the points were nearly double, and it was taking us longer to finish the faction events, and then within 24 hours, panic came on and said, "Look, we after all this, we have to make it a boo-boo, so we're going to refix it," and they fixed it within 24 hours. Other than that, I've never seen them go work on something so quick.
Not in the refinery, but.
Righto, it's 3 a.m, guys. I'm going to finish up the stream. I want to thank everybody for joining me. Disappointing end to it.
I'll pop a shield just in case. During the delay, it happened to me once before when my internet went down when I was streaming, and I lost some resources out of my base in them couple of minutes.
Yeah, I remember that.
I suppose the advice at the moment during this event is 1 day shields, yeah? Because the PvP element, we're expecting there's going to be more 24-hour PvP events, yeah?
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I think so.
So we don't want to be popping our 3 days or 7 days at the moment if you're going to participate. Like, listen, if it's a case that... Yeah, if it's a case that I can't participate in this event, it'll be 7 day shields and I won't be on the game much. There'll be very little for me to do other than dailies. So fingers crossed it works out. And
I would say, Amorgin, even if it doesn't work out, can be Alliance War event. Still do the Borg dailies because you will have.
You'll get something out of it.
Yeah, you'll have more.
You still have your the event store.
You can use.
Yeah.
Yep. And then maybe you can get your 10 of 10.
Maybe it's it cuts the rewards in half though. You know, when your alliance is when everybody in your alliance is getting these events for the war effort, like the first milestone is 20k. You know, the next one's 6.5. You know, you're getting 6.5 every milestone there over the course of 2.5 weeks.
Yep.
You know, that's no small amount. What's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. It's about 15 milestones there, you know. 10 of those milestones is worth 65,000 credits. I'm looking at a target of about 120,000 credits. When we go back to the start of the stream, what I was talking about and what I wanted to get, I'm at my deficit about 120,000. That's 50% of my target points, and that's with being very active. To rely on getting that 120,000 through the other events, the daily events, I don't know. Like, because you're talking 400, 600. Spirit Decor in total is giving you 4,000.
4,000.
Amorgin, sorry to cut you there, but I have to head back up to the after.
No bother, Taz. So. Listen, I appreciate you. Appreciate you dropping in.
Thanks very much. I'll speak to you soon. Thanks, lads. Take care.
Bye, Taz.
Bye. See you. Bye-bye.
Yeah, so that's over 10 days. That's 40,000. Is that right? Yeah, 40,000. You're talking maybe
if the points are consistent.
If they're consistent, and if I complete that every day.
Yeah. I know. Just trying to find a silver lining.
I know. Now, know the enemy. Now, we're not going to get too many of them because that's complete Borg missions and gain Borg shards. Even though we might have something similar to gaining Borg shards, I'm not going to be getting all of those every day. Strengthen the fleet. You won't be doing that every day either.
No.
So you're limited. You're talking maybe 20, 30,000 from those at best, unless you're going to buy packs and shit.
I know.
Capture assimilated crass. That's a leaderboard. It's unless you're going to pump shit into that, that's irrelevant as well. And the assimilated crass avatar is just that's not relevant to this at all. So yeah, we'll have to just keep an eye out and see what's coming our way. Live target practice is giving us, the PvP is giving us what's that, 800 and 816. That's giving us 4,000 as well. So it might be possible if the PvP and the Esprit de Corps or similar are there every day, it might be possible to do something reasonable with it, but if
anything, it gets you closer on 10 of 10. It gives you more opportunity to buy what you can.
Yeah, but my main concern here, TC, it's actually not, like, they're nice to get those Borg war effort war funds. My concern is as you go up the ranks of that, up to the higher tier rewards, it's the Borg Mega Cube Armada directives I'm concerned about. My fear is that, I think they said it somewhere, that you use one of these to participate?
Well, I think George posted it in your
There's something I
Discord.
posted it on Discord, yeah.
Yeah.
Um,
So he
I don't know.
said, the warp points. Oh, come on, TC. Stop tapping things.
Yeah, it's
So
going
the
so
warp
slow.
points you get from the 2 dailies. There's tech salvage tokens that you get from doing for purchasing directives. There's mega cube directives that you use to attack the mega cube. 10 directives to start 1 armada. They have epic Borg armadas, rare Borg and uncommon Borg armada. Borg mega cube transwarp cells are used to access the Borg cube systems, and then Borg transwarp cell is used to access the Borg system.
What's it saying there about attacking the megacubes?
It just says Megacube Armada Directive. Armada directives these are used specifically to attack the Megacube. 10 directives required to start 1 Armada. So the implication is that it's an Armada. You won't need a direct join
Right.
that.
So
but
if
you
I
will
My
need-
computer's died.
but you will need a Borg
Oh.
Megacube transwarp cell
To get there.
there.
But it's
So the question
unclear
is,
how
will
do we
you be able
get
to get
those?
I don't know. It's Borg Tech Salvage are tokens for purchasing uncommon, rare, epic, Armada Direct, and Warp Hole tokens. So I'm assuming that you'll be able to buy Borg Tech Salvage.
They may be
Through-
drops from... Alright, so we won't be able to do the Borg things unless we go into Borg space. Maybe that wee Easter egg that Taz gave us there about the winky face, hold on to your Armada directives if you've got them. Maybe we do normal Armadas, and from that we get Borg transwarp cells there.
I've heard rumors of that's the reason why people should be saving their Armada directives.
For the Borg transwarp cells.
There will be
Not been any
Armada
events either,
event.
like, for Armada's
There will
recently.
events. Yeah.
Right, it's going to be Armada events. Yeah, so it's probably going to be something like this amount of points for a Borg Armada, this amount of points for a normal Armada.
But they're different tokens. Yeah.
I wonder where we're going to get... Like, the good news in this, I suppose, for me, is that if another event comes in that gives you the transwarp cells, I'll be able to participate in that.
Mm-hmm. Yes.
Any new events that come on, I'll be able to participate. It's this 16-day one, though I'm precluded from that, and that's not good by the looks of it. Unless when we hit the first tier that changes, and it's fingers crossed that I'll submit the ticket and do whatever I need to do. My fear is, though, that anybody participating in a Mega Cube Armada, once they have the transwarp cells, they will still need to spend a Mega Cube directive to participate. And if that's the case, I won't be able to participate in the Mega Cube Armadas because I won't be gaining any of them from
the war effort.
From the war effort, you know. If it's like normal Armadas though, and all you need is one person to launch it and then everybody can take part, grand job. No problem with that. I'll be able to participate with all the boys. Taz can launch Armadas and I'll just send a ship over to help. And I'll get a certain amount of rewards from that. And that's the sort of stuff you see that'll be happening as people start obtaining these Borg Megacube directives. They're the things that's going to be happening like next week, the week after. That's when we're going to see events relating to this. Maybe even in days, whenever we can reasonably expect the first alliances to start getting to those higher tier rewards, obtaining those directives. Can those be bought? Is there any packs selling them?
I'm sure they will be, but Panic did say that no one will get to the new Borg spaces until the second phase.
Okay.
So you're not going to be able to make it into that first set of new Borg systems until May 10th at the earliest. and then no one will make it to the Borg cube until May 15th at the.
Okay. By then, people will have accrued a number of Borg Megacube directives.
Yeah.
People will be keen to spend those.
Yeah.
If it's a case that you need them to participate at all, not only does this remove me from a certain amount of content, or at least seriously impedes my ability to participate in that content in the coming 16 days, it could impede my ability to participate in content beyond that, depending on the availability of these Megacube directives and how they're going to be used. I certainly won't be launching any Megacube Armadas in the short term if I'm not able to take part in that event. And Harry, the same. Harry won't be too pleased with that, because Harry liked Armadas anyway by the looks of it. You know, the little bit of time I did spend in Cannes, the two boys were very fond of doing Armadas together. So
the only glimmer, maybe, Borg Tech Salvage token, and how those will become available. For it doesn't say on here where you'll gain access to those if you actually pay cash.
And what's it saying there, TC, about what their purpose is?
It says Borg Tech Salvage token for purchasing uncommon, rare, epic Borg Armada directives and warp toll tokens. So it seems like it's a token that you'll collect somewhere to be able to buy the Borg direct. Does that mean in these new Borg systems there will be ships that we kill with our Vidar? And this might be the new, what is it, the Latin refined token? Something similar to that? I don't know. I don't know. But we do know it'll take 10 Mega Cube Armada directives to start one Mega Cube Armada, and one directive of the other 3 Armada directives available to start. So at least it's not, 100, 200, and 500 like we.
Right, so in the FAQ here I'm just reading before we finish up. Question: why does the War Effort AMS Alliance Milestone event start a day after the first events? Answer: it is intended to give players and alliances a time window to make any movements they might be planning to do. We don't advise players to swap alliances mid-event, as it might make them ineligible for alliance rewards. It doesn't say it definitely, it says it might.
Yeah. Because
Which,
if you go up one question, it talks about who gets what, but that's scoring.
That's scoring. And like, if that applies to me in any significant way, it would suggest that I might not get the first tier rewards, or the first 2 tier rewards even possibly, but after that I will be eligible if the thing kind of resets at a certain point. Somebody said it earlier that it was it Taz or somebody said it might refresh later on as it goes on. That may be a light at the end of the tunnel as well.
Yeah.
Will I miss later phase missions? Right, okay. Are the event missions repeatable? No. Vidar bonus.
So D-Biz said about the Borg Tech Salvage tokens, maybe those are dropped from the other Borg Armadas.
Yeah, maybe.
So as you participate in the epics, you might get those Tech Salvage tokens. Ooh, that's a good point. Maybe those will appear in the Borg tab between resources and alliances.
Fair point, yeah. For refining.
Yeah, that empty tab that we have. Well, keep us up to date, Amorgin, please.
I'll keep us up to date, Shirley. And if you guys hear of similar stories out there, in the wider community, point them in my direction, or refer them to this stream, or encourage them to submit a ticket. But it would be nice if we could get, if there are a number of players affected by this, if we could get them, I suppose, coordinating their tickets in the most reasonable fashion. Like I'm actually not pissed off to the point of where I want to get on, put in a ticket and say this is a fucking disgrace, and blah, blah. I'm just sitting there thinking this is just silly. You've got, if you're working for Scopely and you're in any way able to see this from a player point of view, you've got to see how illogical this is. I know we can make a joke about, oh, well, this is Scopely you're dealing with, you know, they're not going to see it that way and stuff, but they've got to see how it precludes active players from participating, and that not everybody, like Taz said, you know, they give us 24 hours and a notification in the FAQ, but it's a wall of text you're looking at in that FAQ. People are only going to skim it. It's not really an alert to say you've got a limited window of opportunity to decide where you're going to participate in this event, and it's certainly not a significant window. 24 hours to say, well, you know, you need to decide where you're going to go. Tell us a week beforehand and spam the life with big flashing lights saying, remember, you've only got, and a big countdown timer on your fucking screen saying, you've got 5 minutes left to do this, and, you know, and a whole week.
You're where you want to be.
Yeah, you know, you've got a whole week. Remember, and think of the hype that would build as well. Big countdown going. It's about to start. And people sitting there watching it for fucking days. You know what I mean? It's about to start. You know what I mean? Then there's no excuse for missing it. 24 hours when people have got real lives. Come on, people are at home with their families and all. They've got children working from home and shit. It's more difficult for some people to fucking pick up their phone and play this game during the current situation. So they've got to have a bit of understanding there. I just see it as very, very silly. I'm actually more confident about the outcome of a ticket like this because it just makes so much sense not to deny players the opportunity to take part in what is the finale of a very long and positive set of events that they've brought into the game. It's positive content, this, compared to other previous content that they've brought in. This has been quite positive. It has got me to spend a little bit of money on the game when I normally wouldn't have. So it would be a very disappointing conclusion for me to be rejoining Hum and that experience in the game, only to be sitting there going, pop a 7-day shield, log in to do the daily events and whatever else, and then log back out, and there was nothing for me to actually work towards with the Alliance. And why? I'm punished because I had real life stuff that I was prioritising? I don't know. I think Scopely's got to see the logic in this, but it's fingers crossed. I'll get on to submitting that ticket. I might leave it till tomorrow and see what the story is, and then submit the ticket tomorrow. See what Harry's saying, encourage Harry to say it, and if you guys can direct people towards the channel and myself or whatever, or give them some sort of advice if you hear that there's others in the same boat.
Definitely, yeah.
Alright guys, listen, thanks very much.
Thank you as well.